Chapter 2102. Chi. Feng Qingyang's eyes were cold as blazing flames rose around his body. 9 dazzling suns appeared behind him and pressed down on Skirich Demon Saint. Feng Qingyang used the heavenly solar art. A sea of fire surged around him, as if the entire void was shrouded in blazing flames that wanted to turn all life into ashes. Break! Skirich Demon Saint's eyes turned solemn. He could feel that Feng Qingyang's strength had increased greatly after he formed the human sovereign realm. He felt a great threat when Feng Qingyang used the heavenly solar art. Skirich Demon Saint spun like a top with the ghost head saber in his hand. The saber radiance was blazing, and the chilly wind howled like the wailing of ghosts as it emitted an extremely cold gale. Feng Qingyang and Skirich Demon Saint fought fiercely in the void like 2 dazzling storms of divine light. Every time they collided, the world would tremble and the void would rumble. The desolate mountain range below was trembling as if it couldn't withstand the battle between Feng Qingyang and Skirich Demon Saint. Crack! A black saber radiance slashed across the sky. Feng Qingyang dodged it by shifting his body. The saber radiance slashed down and cut a towering mountain in half. The terrifying saber intent turned the towering ancient trees on the mountain into dust as if a terrifying storm had been set off. Boom! Feng Qingyang's silver spear pierced toward Skirich Demon Saint's heart like a silver lightning bolt. Skirich Demon Saint blocked it with his ghost head saber. The sound of metal clashing rang out as a terrifying shockwave spread out, causing the ground below to tremble and crack like a spider web. Feng Qingyang and Skirich Demon Saint were extremely fast. They were like spiritual apes soaring in the sky or tigers and leopards fighting. Each of their attacks was extremely terrifying. Both of them were supreme experts in the third realm of heaven treading. Their attacks contained the power of the Great Path Law. One could imagine the destructive power they could cause. The surrounding people stared at the battle between Feng Qingyang and Skirich Demon Saint with amazement in their eyes. Is this the battle of the Sky Prides? The aura is too terrifying. Someone said with a pale face. Although they were far away, that aura still made him tremble in fear. Who would have thought that Feng Qingyang would be able to fight the sky-piercing Demon Saint to such an extent? Did he really break through? Very likely. Rumor had it that Feng Qingyang had fought with the sky-piercing Demon Saint in the past, but the latter had lost. Now, it seemed like Feng Qingyang would be able to avenge himself. He might even be able to defeat the sky-piercing Demon Saint. Defeat the sky-piercing Demon Saint? How could it be that easy? Do you really think that Holy Sun Muyuan is here to watch the show? Given his relationship with the sky-piercing Demon Saint, if the sky-piercing Demon Saint is no match for him, he will definitely step in. No matter how strong Feng Qingyang is, he is no match for the 2 supreme geniuses. It seems like his defeat is already destined. What a pity. Everyone had different expressions on their faces as they tried to guess the outcome of this battle. However, when they saw Saint Mu Yuan's indifferent expression, their hearts trembled slightly, and they began to sympathize with Feng Qingyang. This sky-reaching beast saint is indeed very strong. I'm afraid it won't be easy for Feng Qingyang to defeat him. Ling Xiao thought to himself as he stood on top of a mountain and watched the battle between Feng Qingyang and the sky-reaching beast saint. He could feel that the sky-reaching beast saint was extremely strong, while Feng Qingyang had just condensed the human sovereign realm. In terms of cultivation, he might be weaker than the sky-reaching beast saint. Moreover, Ling Xiao could feel that the sky-reaching beast saint was still hiding his strength. There was a terrifying power hidden in his body. Kill. Feng Qingyang's aura had risen to the extreme. The killing intent in his eyes was so intense that it seemed to have materialized. At this moment he suddenly roared. Boom! The blazing flames around him suddenly bloomed and turned into blazing runes in the void. They intertwined with each other and seemed to form billions of divine weapons in an instant. They contained an extremely terrifying power and directly pressed down on the sky-reaching beast saint. Feng Qingyang seemed to have become the center of the storm. Billions of divine weapons were all formed from the great Tao. The surrounding mountains were all blasted into smithereens. Divine light gushed out from all over the sky, trying to turn all matter into the most primordial power. This was the forbidden art of the Taishang Palace. Feng Qingyang could feel the power of the sky-reaching beast saint, so he did not hesitate to use this forbidden art. The sky-reaching beast saint was in the center of the billions of divine weapons, and was almost instantly engulfed by them. Feng Qingyang's eyes were cold, as if he did not want to give the sky-reaching beast saint any chance of survival. After burying the sky-reaching beast saint with the divine weapon saint technique, the silver spear in his hand pierced through the void and turned into billions of afterimages as it shot towards the sky-reaching beast saint. Boom! A huge mountain suddenly exploded. Rocks flew everywhere and divine light gushed out. There was a flash of blood in the void. The sky-reaching beast saint seemed to have been torn into pieces by the divine weapon saint technique and Feng Qingyang's silver spear. What a terrifying divine weapon saint technique! Someone exclaimed and couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. Almost every strike of the billions of Dao weapons contained supreme power. The terrifying fluctuations of the Dao weapons and saint techniques caused the surrounding spectators to feel their hearts palpitate. Could it be that the sky-reaching beast saint was killed by Feng Qingyang just like that? Someone was shocked. They did not expect the outcome to be decided so quickly. No, that's not the sky-reaching beast saint. The sky-reaching beast saint is over there. Suddenly, a divine light flashed in someone's eyes as he looked behind Feng Qingyang. Rumble! Blazing divine light burst out and shook the world. In the endless chaotic mist, the sky-reaching beast saint's body was badly mutilated. However, his eyes were filled with monstrous killing intent. Blood-red divine chains of order shot out from his body and instantly wrapped around Feng Qingyang's limbs and neck. The sky-reaching beast saint's eyes were blood-red. He held a huge ghost head saber in his hand and emitted a whistling wind as he slashed towards Feng Qingyang. Feng Qingyang, I didn't expect you to have mastered a divine weapon saint technique. But today, you still have to die. The sky-reaching beast saint's voice was bone-chilling as he roared furiously. He did not expect Feng Qingyang to push him to this point. Feng Qingyang had even mastered a divine weapon saint technique. If he had not dodged quickly, he would have been seriously injured even if he did not die. His speed was extremely fast as he descended from the ninth heaven. Black demonic light rose from his body and his ghost head saber emitted a sound that made one's mind confused. Chapter 2103. Boom. Feng Qingyang's expression changed slightly. He could feel that the divine chains of order that wrapped around his limbs were incomparably sturdy. It was impossible for him to break them apart in a short period of time. Furthermore, Skyreach Demon Saint's speed was too fast. He could only endure the power of this blow. The sun opens the sky, the moon destroys the world. Feng Qingyang shouted. Blazing light gushed out from his body, forming two colors, black and white. With him as the core, a mysterious shadow of the Taiji diagram appeared and rotated around him. Crack! Feng Qingyang's aura skyrocketed. The divine chains of order that wrapped around him were instantly crushed by the shadow of the Taiji diagram. Feng Qingyang pushed out his arms. The shadow of the Taiji diagram soared into the sky and collided with the huge skull with a loud bang. Divine light erupted all over the sky like a volcanic eruption. Cracks appeared on the huge skull. In the end, it exploded with a loud bang. The ghost head saber trembled violently, as if it was about to fly out of Skyreach Demon Saint's hand. Puff! The Taiji diagram slammed into Skyreach Demon Saint's body, causing the demon chi around him to spurt out. He staggered and his face turned extremely pale. Suddenly, he spat out a mouthful of blood essence. Skyreach Demon Saint was injured for the first time. The shadow of the Taiji diagram was filled with mysterious runes and intertwined with the light of the Dharma. It was like the incarnation of the great Tao. It seemed to be extremely lethal to Skyreach Demon Saint, causing his injuries to be irreversible. Skyreach Demon Saint's body was badly mutilated, as if he had been dismembered. He looked extremely miserable. Feng Qingyang, you deserve to die! Skyreach Demon Saint roared. Black divine light gushed out from his body. His fierce aura erupted and his eyes were filled with blood-red killing intent. Rumble! Boom! Boom! Skyreach Demon Saint's aura skyrocketed in an instant and turned into a giant beast. He was ancient and ferocious, as if an ancient fierce beast had awakened. Skyreach Demon Saint has been forced by Feng Qingyang to the point of revealing his true form? Everyone couldn't help but exclaim. Their eyes were filled with incomparable shock. In the air, the colossal beast was shrouded in chaotic mist. It was pitch black, and its fur was glossy and shiny. Its fur was as sharp as steel needles. It had an extremely ugly face, and its eyes were filled with bloodthirsty and frenzied killing intent. This giant beast actually looked like a giant rat. This is a mutant from the primordial times, the heavenly rat. A gleam of light flashed through Ling Zhao's eyes as he muttered to himself in surprise. He immediately recognized the origins of the sky-reaching demon saint. The Heavenspan rat was an ancient variant that was said to be able to see through the heavens and the earth, and possessed extraordinary abilities. Not only did it possess extreme speed, it was capable of traversing through space, and it was even capable of swallowing gold, refining jade, and smelting everything in the world. No wonder the sky-reaching demon sage had such a name. It turned out that his true form was the sky-reaching rat. Roar. In the void, Tong Tian rat, who was tens of thousands of feet tall, was hidden in the chaotic mist. His eyes were like blood moons, filled with cold killing intent. An extremely sharp sound wave instantly erupted from his mouth, rushing towards Feng Qingyang. At the same time, its sharp claws swept across the air like a huge mountain. After revealing his true form, the sky-reaching demon saint's aura had increased by several times. The surrounding people were extremely shocked, and their faces were extremely pale. Feng Qingyang's expression also changed. He rushed into the sky with the silver spear in his hand, wanting to block the sky-reaching demon saint's huge claws. However, the terrifying sound wave was formless and intangible, but it contained extremely strong killing power. It caused him to stagger and slow down a lot. Bang! Feng Qingyang and his spear were slapped down from the sky by the sky-reaching rat, and the mountain below was smashed into powder. Boom! 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 Tong Tian rat did not give Feng Qingyang any chance to react. His attack was as fast as lightning. His sharp claws constantly fell on Feng Qingyang's body. Feng Qingyang's body was trembling violently as he coughed up blood. He had also suffered serious injuries. Go to hell. The sky-reaching rat grabbed Feng Qingyang and opened its bloody mouth, revealing its white and sharp teeth. It was about to devour Feng Qingyang. Tai Chi True Self, myriad transformations as one. Open. Feng Qingyang's face was extremely pale, but his eyes were extremely sharp. He roared, and the mysterious aura around him rose. The black and white Tai Chi diagram emerged again, wrapping him up. This was the Supreme Emperor art of the Supreme Doctrine Palace. Although Feng Qingyang had only comprehended a little of it, it was extremely powerful at this moment. The sky-reaching rat's sharp teeth could no longer fall. The black and white Tai Chi diagram slowly rotated, and a bloody light flashed. Several of the sky-reaching rat's teeth were shattered. Rumble. Although Feng Qingyang's face was pale, his eyes were incomparably bright. The Tai Chi diagram shone brightly, emitting boundless light. Runes filled the air and the great Tao Law bloomed. The Tai Chi diagram was like a bright sun, and it instantly soared across the sky, pressing down on the sky-reaching rat. Feng Qingyang activated the Supreme Emperor art. The mysterious Tai Chi diagram seemed to be able to melt everything. It caused the sky-reaching rat to tremble violently, as if it was facing the majestic heavenly might. The surrounding space was sealed, and there was no way it could escape. Roar! Roar! The sky-reaching rat roared a few times, and a terrifying aura gushed out from its body. Blazing divine light bloomed. It used various powerful means, but there was no way to break the Tai Chi diagram. It could only watch as the Tai Chi diagram pressed down on it. The sky-reaching demon overlord is going to be suppressed by Feng Qingyang. Someone exclaimed. His eyes were filled with incomparable shock. Was the ferocious and insufferably arrogant demon saint going to be suppressed by Feng Qingyang? Kacha. All of a sudden, a mysterious rune bloomed in the void. Vast and ancient great Tao Law descended, containing an aura that could annihilate everything. Finally, it intertwined into a mysterious rune. It seemed to be hidden in the void, invisible and intangible. It turned into an incomparably mysterious curse power, and instantly flew towards Feng Qingyang. The curse power entered Feng Qingyang's body almost instantaneously. At this moment, Feng Qingyang was fully activating the Tai Chi diagram, trying to suppress Feng Qingyang. He did not expect that someone would launch a sneak attack from behind. He could not help but tremble. and suddenly coughed out a mouthful of blood. The Tai Chi diagram that he was controlling trembled violently, as if it was going to collapse at any time. Shameless. Feng Qingyang's eyes were filled with rage and killing intent, and he stared at Saint Sun Muyuan in the distance. The curse power came from Saint Sun Muyuan, and it caused Feng Qingyang to suffer a serious injury at the critical moment. Chapter 2104. No one had expected Saint Muyuan to attack Feng Qingyang at the critical moment of his battle with the piercing demon overlord. Moreover, he had used an extremely strange curse power to silently invade Feng Qingyang's body, interrupting his Supreme Emperor technique and causing the Taiji diagram to tremble violently, as if it was going to collapse at any time. Boom! The sky-piercing demon saint was about to be suppressed by the Taiji diagram. Now that he saw what was happening, he let out a loud roar. Terrifying demonic light rose around him, and streaks of black lightning intertwined. Like an erupting volcano, he directly shattered the Taiji diagram and rushed out from it. However, there was no longer a trace of arrogance on his face. Instead, his eyes were filled with deep fear and horror. When that Tai Chi diagram came crashing down, he really felt the threat of death. This was the power of a Supreme Emperor technique. A trace of greed appeared on the piercing demon overlord's face. If he could obtain this Supreme Emperor technique, his strength would definitely improve qualitatively. Damn it! Murderous intent flashed in Ling Zhao's eyes. Saint Sun Muyuan's attack was beyond his expectations. Heaven's prides had their own pride. They wouldn't allow others to interfere in a major battle. In addition, Saint Sun Muyuan's curse was silent and extremely strange. By the time Ling Zhao realized it, it was already too late. He had underestimated Saint Muyuan's shamelessness. The aura in Ling Zhao's body surged violently like a volcano that was about to erupt, containing extremely terrifying energy fluctuations. He was ready to strike at any time and kill the piercing demon overlord and Saint Muyuan with lightning speed. These two people had already aroused his killing intent. Feng Qingyang's Supreme Emperor technique had been interrupted when the Taiji diagram was broken. He had also suffered a severe backlash, coughing up blood, and his face had become extremely pale. Despicable and shameless. I didn't expect Saint Muyuan of the Heavenly Curse sect to be so weak. If you want to save him, then come at me together. I, Feng Qingyang, am not afraid. Although Feng Qingyang's face was pale, his eyes were incomparably bright and sharp. His voice was sonorous and powerful as he stared at Saint Muyuan. Saint Muyuan, when it's possible to let people off, you should spare them. Why do you have to kill the piercing demon overlord? How is your style different from the demon race? Saint Sun Muyuan smiled faintly. His figure was tall and slender, and his black hair was thick and glossy, casually draped behind his head. His face was extremely handsome, and his skin was as white as ivory. His entire person exuded an extraordinary temperament, as if a saint had descended to the mortal world. Especially the double pupils in his eyes, they were suffused with chaotic energy and interwoven with the laws of the great Tao. They were like a chaotic vortex that seemed to be able to devour everything. Everyone couldn't help but admire this kind of peerless bearing. Although many people despised Saint Muyuan for sneaking an attack on Feng Qingyang, no one dared to say anything. Exterminate? A battle of life and death was supposed to be a battle of life and death. If you want to make a move, just do it. Why do you need so many excuses? Muyuan, don't think I don't know that it was your Heavenly Curse sect's disciple who leaked the information to the sky-reaching demon saint. Feng Qingyang sneered as his eyes were filled with coldness. Holy Sun Qingyang, you're so disappointing. Without any evidence, you slandered the sky-reaching demon saint for killing your people. Now you're slandering me. Are you forcing me to make a move? Saint Sun Muyuan sighed softly as a vast aura spread out from his body. It was vast and mighty like the heavenly might, containing unpredictable energy fluctuations. If you want to fight, then let's fight. Muyuan, today either you die or I die. Feng Qingyang's eyes were blood-red and filled with determination. His body was as straight as a divine spear, exuding a sharp aura that pierced through the clouds. He was already seriously injured. Now that he was facing the graveyard saint in his prime, and the sky-reaching demon saint, Feng Qingyang knew that this battle boded ill rather than well. However, as the saint of the Taishengdao Palace, he had his own pride and dignity. Even though he knew that he would die in this battle, he had to fight for his dignity. Moreover, Feng Qingyang was confident that even if he died in this battle, he could drag someone down with him. Feng Qingyang's firm words moved the crowd. He knows that he can't do it, yet he still does it. Is Feng Qingyang ignorant or stupid? What a pity! If it weren't for Saint Sun Muyuan, perhaps Feng Qingyang could create glory and kill the sky-reaching demon saint and become famous. That's right. Saint Sun Muyuan is said to be stronger than the sky-reaching demon saint and has a good relationship with the Son of Heaven. Looks like there's no suspense in this battle anymore. The spectators were discussing among themselves. Although they admired Feng Qingyang, their rationality told them that Feng Qingyang would not be able to win and would most likely fall here today. Saint Sun Qingyang, why do you have to do this? How about this? Kneel down and apologize to the sky-reaching demon saint and me, and we won't pursue your sins. How about that? Saint Sun Muyuan sighed softly with a trace of regret in his eyes. Kneel to you? Are you worthy? I, Feng Qingyang, have never knelt to heaven or earth in my life. I only kneel to my parents and teachers. Who do you think you are? Feng Qingyang sneered. His eyes were sharp as the aura around him rose. Blazing flames spread out as if they could burn the world. What a pity! A genius cannot be humiliated. Since you've slandered me, I can only take action against you, Saint Sun Muyuan said indifferently. His eyelids drooped as mysterious runes flashed around him. Vast heavenly law filled the air as a mysterious force locked onto Feng Qingyang. He Muyuan, there's no need to talk nonsense with him. Just kill him and hang his head up to lure that bastard Ling Xiao over. Cut the weeds and eliminate the roots. Tongtian demon saint sneered. His eyes were filled with undisguised killing intent. Although he had broken free from the Taiji diagram, Feng Qingyang had still inflicted serious injuries on him. Rumble. In the void, three powerful auras intertwined. Vast heavenly might and great Tao law descended, causing the spectators to shudder in fear. Their faces turned pale as they hurriedly retreated. An earth-shattering battle was about to begin. Sky-reaching demon saint, are you trying to kill me? Suddenly, an indifferent and ethereal voice rang out in the void. Although it was not loud, it sounded like the voice of a heavenly emperor, suppressing all other sounds. The divine light that filled the sky suddenly exploded. Amidst the endless chaotic energy, a white-robed young man stepped through the void, as if he was stepping on a flight of stairs. His body emitted a monstrous aura, and his eyes were clear and resplendent. Chapter 2105. You are Ling Xiao. Sky-piercing demon saint trembled. His eyes were filled with rage and killing intent. After Ling Xiao stopped concealing his aura, he instantly recognized him. The white-clothed youth before him was Ling Xiao, who had killed his doppelganger and snatched his longevity gold elixir. Ling Xiao, you have broken through? Feng Qingyang's eyes were filled with surprise when he saw Ling Xiao. He could see that Ling Xiao's injuries had not only completely healed, but he had also broken through to the 9th Revolution half-saint realm. Ling Xiao could defeat him when he was severely injured, and even killed sky-piercing demon saint's doppelganger. How powerful would Ling Xiao be now? Feng Qingyang's heart was filled with confidence. Lucky breakthrough. You are too impatient. Why do you have to fight to the death when there are shameless people besieging you? As long as you stay alive, you will be able to take revenge sooner or later. Ling Xiao smiled faintly with a calm expression. They have gone too far. Ling Xiao, sky-piercing demon saint, is nothing to worry about. However, Mu Yuan's Polychoria divine ability is said to have the power to split open the sky. You have to be careful. Feng Qingyang said with a solemn expression. Don't worry. None of them will be able to escape today. Ling Xiao said faintly with a calm expression. There seemed to be a blazing sharpness in his eyes. Ling Xiao, you killed my doppelganger and snatched my longevity gold elixir. Today you will pay with your life. Sky-piercing demon saint roared. His eyes were filled with blazing killing intent. He could not hold it in any longer and pounced on Ling Xiao. As the saying goes, when enemies meet, their eyes burn with hatred. The one that sky-reaching demon saint hated the most was Ling Xiao. His clone and the golden elixir of immortality that he had spent so much effort to refine had been destroyed by Ling Xiao just like that. He was filled with hatred, and wanted nothing more than to tear Ling Xiao to pieces. Rumble. Demonic light rose from his body. The ghost head saber in his hand emitted a blazing light. It was like a gust of wind, wailing like ghosts and howling like wolves. He suddenly slashed his saber at Ling Xiao. You are courting death. Ling Xiao's eyes turned cold. His blood qi and chaotic qi filled the air around him, making his aura extremely terrifying. A fist print flew across the sky and smashed towards sky-piercing demon saint. Crack. The space suddenly shattered. Ling Xiao's punch was filled with extreme power, as if it was going to reopen the world and return everything to chaos. It contained an immortal and eternal power. The breakthrough this time wasn't just a breakthrough in Ling Xiao's cultivation base. More importantly, it allowed his physical body to be tempered by the primal chaos, reaching a kind of great success. The large success of the primal chaos allowed Ling Xiao's every move to possess an unfathomable divine might. Although the saber light emitted by the demonic headblade was extremely intense, it was annihilated by Ling Xiao's punch. In the end, the fist landed directly on the demonic headblade, causing it to emit a resplendent glow and start to vibrate violently. Boom. The Skirich demon saint's face changed drastically. He felt an unstoppable force assault him, causing his arm to tremble violently. He actually lost his grip on his saber, and was sent flying. How is this possible? The Skirich demon saint's eyes were filled with disbelief. Ling Xiao was only a 9th revolution half-saint, but the strength of his physical body made him tremble all over. It was as if he was a supreme sacred beast from ancient times, possessing the power to destroy heaven and earth. However, the person in front of him was clearly a human. How could his physical body be so strong? Boom. Ling Xiao's eyes were cold. His fist was like a dragon. After sending the demonic headblade flying, the vast chaotic fist print pressed down with an indomitable will. It seemed to contain the power of 3,000 worlds, capable of suppressing everything. The Skirich demon saint couldn't dodge. His face was extremely ugly. He could only stretch out his arms with all his might, erupting with terrifying demonic light to block Ling Xiao's fist. Crack. With a crisp sound, the Skirich demon saint's arms were broken. Flesh and blood splattered everywhere, revealing his white bones. He looked extremely miserable. The Skirich demon saint screamed and was sent flying. He smashed into a mountain in the distance, causing it to explode. Everyone's body trembled as they were completely dumbfounded. The insufferably arrogant sky-reaching demon saint was actually defeated by Ling Xiao in one move. Ling Xiao only threw out a single punch, but it was unstoppable. It possessed an unparalleled power that could suppress the world and turn the Skirich demon saint's arms into dust. The true form of the sky-piercing demon saint was a sky-piercing rat, an ancient mutated beast. His physical body was incomparably strong to begin with, but now that he was defeated by a mere human, everyone felt as though they were in a dream. How can Ling Xiao be so strong? He's only a 9th revolution half-saint, but he can go against the flow and defeat the Skirich demon saint. His talent is too terrifying. That's right. If he advances to the 3rd level of heaven treading, won't he be able to defeat all the prodigies and compete with the emperor? How terrifying. The human race actually has such a prodigy. It's unbelievable. I wonder who he is. Is he also an ancient prodigy? Everyone discussed spiritedly, guessing Ling Xiao's identity. They were extremely shocked by the result of this battle. He can't even withstand a single blow. Saint Sun Muyuan, don't you plan to avenge him? Ling Xiao said indifferently. He didn't care whether the Skirich demon saint was dead or alive. His gaze landed on Saint Sun Muyuan as he spoke with a faint smile. The Heavenly Emperor's fist just now seemed casual, but it was the most powerful punch that Ling Xiao could muster. It was a shocking blow that erupted from the tremendous momentum he had accumulated. If the Skirich demon saint hadn't been caught off guard, he wouldn't have lost so miserably. However, the result of the Heavenly Emperor's fist was shocking enough. At the very least, everyone was shocked. Even Saint Sun Muyuan had a solemn look in his eyes. Ling Xiao. That's an unfamiliar name. Although I don't know who you are, Are you sure you want to fight for Feng Qingyang? Your physical body is indeed very strong, but you don't understand what true power is. Saint Sun Muyuan looked directly at Ling Xiao as he spoke. His eyes were extremely deep. Oh, then do you know what true power is? I really want to see how strong Saint Sun Muyuan of the Heavenly Curse sect is. Ling Xiao said indifferently with a hint of mockery in his eyes. Towards a hypocrite like Mu Yuan, he had never had a good impression of him. He had witnessed Mu Yuan's actions earlier. Even Feng Qingyang had almost died in Mu Yuan's hands. Are you sure you want to offend the Heavenly Curse sect? Believe me, the result isn't something you can bear. Ling Xiao, I think you're quite strong. Why do you have to mix with trash like Feng Qingyang? Why don't you side with me? I'll teach you the Supreme Emperor technique. How about it? Chapter 2106. Supreme Emperor Technique? Someone exclaimed. Immediately, a blazing look appeared in his eyes. Who would have thought that in order to win over Ling Xiao, Holy Sun Muyuan would not hesitate to offer a Supreme Monarch technique? It should be known that Supreme Monarch techniques contained extreme monarch aura and possessed unfathomable power. They could go against the flow of the universe and increase one's battle prowess exponentially. Feng Qingyang and the heaven-piercing demon saint were similar in strength, but Feng Qingyang had a Supreme Emperor technique that almost killed the heaven-piercing demon saint. One could imagine how powerful the Supreme Emperor technique was. Supreme Emperor technique? Mu Yuan, why don't you submit to me and be my servant? I'll teach you the Supreme Emperor scripture. What do you think? Ling Xiao raised his eyebrows and said with a faint smile. The Supreme Emperor technique was just a superpower, but the Supreme Emperor scripture contained the ultimate power of a great emperor. It contained many powerful emperor techniques, and its value was immeasurable. Supreme Emperor scripture? Aren't you afraid of biting your own tongue? Since you're so stubborn, don't blame me for being impolite. Saint Mu Yuan's face darkened, and he sneered. He naturally didn't think that Ling Xiao would have the Supreme Emperor scripture. After all, the inheritance of a Supreme Emperor was extremely precious. Even he didn't have the Supreme Emperor scripture. In the entire human race's Saint City, the only person who had the Supreme Emperor scripture was probably the Emperor. He thought that Ling Xiao was making fun of him, and anger rose in his heart. Rumble. Saint Mu Yuan was surrounded by rays of light and mysterious symbols. It made his aura seem even more ethereal, as though he was hidden in heaven and earth and had become one with the great Tao. Although Saint Mu Yuan knew that Ling Xiao's physical body was very strong, he was still confident that he could defeat Ling Xiao. After all, the curse power that Ling Xiao cultivated was invisible and formless. It could destroy and annihilate everything from the inside. Cut the crap. If you want to fight, let's fight. Starting with you, the Heavenly Curse sect will be destroyed today. Ling Xiao sneered, and his eyes were blazing with sharpness. Golden qi and blood rose around him, as dazzling as a divine glow. It contained a vast and terrifying energy fluctuation. Chaotic qi pervaded the air, making him look like a peerless young celestial emperor who could suppress everything. Boom! Ling Xiao stepped into the void, causing the earth to rumble violently. Divine light exploded all over the sky, and he shot towards Saint Mu Yuan like a dazzling meteor. A mighty golden fist print traversed the void, and it had the power to destroy everything. Ling Xiao made the first move. Thousand Swords Curse. Saint Mu Yuan's eyes were dazzling, and there seemed to be traces of chaotic qi lingering in the air. His expression was extremely cold as he shouted. In an instant, sword qi intertwined in the void. Billions of sharp lights collided and turned into thousands of unparalleled sword qi, slashing towards Ling Xiao. The sword qi was shapeless and formless. It was formed from pure energy of the laws, and it contained the power to pierce through everything. Insignificant. Ling Xiao sneered. He showed no signs of dodging at all. Scorching light surged around him as strands of golden light seemed to form golden vortexes. Clang, clang, clang. When the sword qi hit Ling Xiao's body, it actually produced the sound of metal clashing. It was as if they were blocked by an invisible barrier. They simply couldn't break through Ling Xiao's defense. Rumble. Ling Xiao's aura surged like the sea, and his aura became even more terrifying. His golden fist print appeared in front of Saint Mu Yuan in an instant. Imperial Heaven Curse. Saint Mu Yuan's expression remained indifferent as he called out. Runes rose around him and condensed into a mysterious starry sky in front of him. It seemed to be able to contain everything. Ling Zhao's fist imprint exploded in the starry sky, shaking the heavens all around. The stars in the sky seemed like they were about to fall, but they seemed to be millions of miles away from Saint Mu Yuan, separated by time and space. Buzz. Saint Mu Yuan's palm glowed, and a glittering scepter appeared. It looked like a glazed crystal. Mysterious runes of the law intertwined with it, and it contained a vast amount of curse power. Forbidden Heaven Curse. Saint Mu Yuan's eyes darkened. He pointed at Ling Xiao with the scepter in his hand. Runes rose from the void and formed a mysterious world in the void, trapping Ling Xiao within. There was only eternal darkness and silence. There was no light or color. Not only was there no way to feel the passage of time and space, but it was also as if he was about to forget himself. Open. Ling Zhao's eyes shone with an unparalleled sharpness. In that instant, the blood and qi in his body surged like a raging flame. All the energy in his body gathered on his fist, and he suddenly punched out towards the endless void. Crack. Chaotic qi filled the air. The vast chaotic fist print had the power to split the heavens and earth. It shattered the dark world in an instant, and a blazing light appeared in front of Ling Xiao again. Ling Xiao's aura rose. He used a secret teleportation technique, and instantly moved hundreds of millions of miles across the void. He charged at Saint Mu Yuan. Boom. Ling Xiao's fist was like a dragon. The vast fist intent could destroy everything. It arrived in front of Saint Mu Yuan in an instant and blasted him into dust. An afterimage? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He realized that this wasn't Saint Mu Yuan's real body. It couldn't even be considered a clone. It was just an afterimage condensed by a curse. Rumble. After Ling Xiao destroyed the afterimage, a blazing light rose up in an instant. Mysterious runes silently burrowed into Ling Xiao's body, containing a power that could destroy everything. That was the power of a curse. It was the power of the Great Path. It was soundless, and there was no way to dodge it. He could only watch it enter his body. Great Destruction Curse. Saint Mu Yuan's figure appeared in the void in the distance. His robes were whiter than snow, and he held a scepter in his hand. The runes between his eyebrows shone brightly. He looked like a supreme saint from ancient times who controlled the Great Path. He was mysterious and unfathomable. As he called out, the inscriptions that had invaded Ling Xiao's body instantly shattered. The vast laws of the world were destroyed, like a storm of destruction, about to completely obliterate all life. Although Ling Xiao's physical body was incomparably strong, the power of the curse was destroying him from the inside out. Ling Xiao almost couldn't withstand it. His body trembled violently, and cracks appeared on it. It was as if his physical body was going to collapse at any time. What? Is Ling Xiao going to lose? Everyone was shocked, and their eyes were filled with incomparable shock. Chapter 2107. Rumble. Black light flickered around Ling Xiao's body as runes spread out. Cracks actually appeared on the surface of his powerful body, as if it would collapse at any moment. He coughed up blood as if he had been severely injured. His face turned extremely pale. The heavenly curse sex incantation divine ability was incomparably strange. It silently invaded one's body and contained the vast power of the great Tao that could destroy everything. After all, the heavenly way was flawed, and it was impossible for all living things to be perfect. There would always be flaws. The curse used the power of the Great Way to find the flaws of living things and deliver a fatal blow. Although Ling Xiao's body was extremely powerful, it was not perfect. When Saint Sun Muyuan used the Great Destruction Curse, his entire body seemed to have merged with the heavenly way. His every move contained the power of the heavens. Boom. The terrifying power of the curse spread out around Ling Xiao, and even surged into his primordial spirit. It wanted to completely destroy his primordial spirit. Ling Xiao's aura grew weaker and weaker as he coughed up blood. It was as if his entire body was about to collapse in the void and turn into a bloody mist. However, Ling Xiao's eyes were extremely calm and cold. There was a hint of mockery in his eyes as he slowly spat out a word. Devour. Rumble. The wordless heavenly book in his sea of consciousness shone brightly at this moment. 9-colored divine light bloomed, ancient and mysterious. It transformed into a vast and terrifying devouring vortex. In an instant, it devoured the strange power of the curse in Ling Xiao's body. The origin of the power of the curse was the Great Way. Even with Ling Xiao's current attainments in the heaven-devouring secret skill, it was difficult for him to completely devour and refine it. However, the wordless heavenly book erupted at this moment. In an instant, the power of the curse in Ling Xiao's body was completely devoured by the wordless heavenly book. A terrifying power of qi and blood erupted from Ling Xiao's body. The void around him trembled as billions of rays of divine light gushed out. In an instant, the sky around him shook violently. What? Saint Muyuan shuddered as disbelief filled his eyes. Suddenly, the laws of the world surged out, causing him to suffer a great backlash. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Saint Sun Muyuan had used the Great Destruction Curse and merged it with the Great Path Law. Although he could borrow the supreme power of the Great Path Law, he would also suffer a great backlash if the curse was broken. Ling Xiao had noticed this before, so he had only resisted it with his physical body at the beginning. When the vast power of the curse had completely integrated into his body, he had unleashed the power of the wordless book and devoured all the curse power. Saint Sun Muyuan naturally suffered a backlash from the great Tao laws, and his aura became chaotic. Kill! Ling Xiao roared. His eyes were extremely cold, and his body was enveloped in a monstrous divine light. He charged towards Saint Muyuan with a punch. Crack! Heaven and earth trembled as Ling Xiao charged through the sky. Wherever he passed, mountains exploded and the earth quaked. The terrifying divine light contained unparalleled divine power, and suppressed Saint Sun Muyuan. Saint Sun Muyuan suffered a backlash from the Great Path Law, so his reaction was naturally slower. At this moment, there was no way for him to dodge Ling Xiao's punch. He could only take it head-on. Boom! Ling Xiao's punch was like a dragon, and his aura was extremely violent. The punch directly shattered the Imperial Heaven spell around Saint Sun Muyuan, and landed heavily on his chest. Crack! Saint Sun Muyuan's white robe emitted a dazzling light. In an instant, an unparalleled saint aura shot into the sky, trying to dissolve the terrifying power contained in Ling Xiao's punch. However, in the end the saint aura collapsed, and Saint Sun Muyuan was sent flying by Ling Xiao's punch. A crisp sound rang out. Saint Sun Muyuan's ribs were broken, and his face turned even paler. The corner of his mouth was full of blood. Boom! 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 Ling Xiao did not seem to want to give Saint Sun Muyuan any chance to escape. His battle intent surged into the sky, and he had an invincible aura. His understanding of the fist of the Heavenly Emperor was getting deeper and deeper. Every time he attacked, there was boundless divine power. The invincible fist intent seemed to have been imprinted in his bones, and it exploded with shocking power. The sky was filled with Ling Xiao's fist prints. They intertwined into mysterious shadows and charged toward Saint Sun Muyuan. Even though Saint Prince Muyuan tried his best to defend himself and cast a powerful defensive spell, he was still no match for Ling Xiao's terrifying fists. His defensive spells shattered one after another, and he was sent flying by Ling Xiao, coughing up blood. Ling Xiao, you deserve to die. Saint Muyuan roared in anger. His eyes were extremely cold and filled with towering rage. He felt extremely aggrieved. Blazing divine light rose around him, and the void all around him trembled. However, it was unable to withstand Ling Xiao's fist will. Crack! Boundless light burst out from his eyes in an instant, and a mysterious aura of chaos permeated the air. The double pupils in his eyes, one black and one white, were like the most original power of heaven and earth. In an instant, they intertwined and shot towards Ling Xiao. The void was annihilated silently, and the supreme destructive force attacked as if it was going to turn everything into dust. This was the power of the Polychoria. It was said to contain the original energy of the heavenly way, and it was the incarnation of the heavenly way. It could control the power of the heavenly punishment, and it was extremely terrifying. Ling Xiao felt a chill run down his spine, as if he was being stared at by some terrifying existence. Without thinking, he immediately cast a teleportation secret skill. His entire body was like a ray of chaotic light, shuttling through the void in an attempt to avoid the light of the original source. However, the Polychoria superpower was too terrifying, and it could destroy everything. At this moment, it had completely locked onto Ling Xiao, and it would not rest until it killed him. Open! Hundreds of millions of rays of light shot out from Ling Xiao's arms, and flames rose into the sky. In an instant, an Emperor Yen cauldron was formed in the void, exuding supreme divine power. The mouth of the cauldron exuded a power that could devour everything, and it wanted to swallow the Polychoria superpower. Crack! However, the chaotic aura spread out, and the black and white divine light intertwined. After rushing into the Emperor Yen cauldron, it trembled violently. In the next instant, the Emperor Yen cauldron shattered, and the two divine lights shot toward Ling Xiao. Buzz! Ling Xiao's glabella shone, and the vast divine light around him intertwined, forming a mysterious heaven-devouring divine sea behind him. It wanted to completely refine the black and white divine light. However, the black and white divine light seemed to contain an extremely powerful spirituality, and there was no way to refine it. Instead, it wanted to pierce through the heaven-devouring divine sea and into Ling Xiao's consciousness. Polychoria sky opening. At that moment, Saint Mu Yuan suddenly exclaimed, "Crack!" Chapter 2108. Boundless spatial turbulence surged, and chaotic light interweaved. It was extremely chaotic, containing the most original killing power. It was as if the scene of chaos splitting open was being reenacted. It was incomparably mysterious. Strands of laws swept across the void, and divine chains of order sealed Ling Xiao's body. It was as if they wanted to annihilate Ling Xiao and the surrounding void at the same time. Ling Xiao can actually force Mu Yuan to use his Polychoria Sky Splitter? This kid is really terrifying. However, once he uses his Polychoria Sky Splitter, he's dead for sure. The sky-piercing demon saint's eyes were filled with shock. He knew how terrifying Saint Mu Yuan's Polychoria Sky Splitter was. It was one of the ultimate secrets of his Polychoria. This move had allowed him to kill a saint before, and it possessed unfathomable power. This is the scene of the creation of heaven and earth. Is Ling Xiao really going to lose? He's not just going to lose. I'm afraid he's going to be completely annihilated. Everyone was shocked as well. Their eyes were filled with terror. Boundless chaotic energy rose, and the void in front of them seemed to distort. An ancient chaotic world appeared, and the terrifying aura made them tremble and palpitate even though they were far away. Boom! Ling Xiao seemed to have lost his sense of direction in the chaotic sky. He punched out like a dragon, and his physical body erupted with extreme power. However, he was still unable to break through the chaos. His body was bound by divine chains of order, and beams of destructive light exploded around him, causing his entire body to tremble violently. He staggered back, and even his aura became chaotic. What a powerful Polychoria Sky Splitter! The Polychoria Sky Splitter is indeed one of the top 3 eye techniques in all heavens. Ling Xiao thought to himself as his eyes flickered. He seemed to have been exiled by the endless chaos, and was about to be completely obliterated in the void. He had lost all sense of direction and perception. This state was extremely terrifying. Even an expert with a strong will would go crazy after a long time. The power of chaos is destruction, but it's also creation. Ling Xiao did not panic at all. Instead, his expression became incomparably calm. Rumble! He simply gave up on resisting. He closed his eyes and sat in the chaotic space, allowing the divine chains of order to interweave around him, and the chaotic power to attack him. Brilliant light bloomed from Ling Xiao's body. Mysterious runes seemed to appear on his body. They contained chaotic luster and looked extremely mysterious. Crack! Ling Xiao's physical body was shattered. His entire body was severely injured. He was shaking violently and coughing up large mouthfuls of blood. However, his expression was extremely calm, as if he was not in pain at all. The chaotic qi in his body surged, containing a mysterious energy fluctuation, causing the chaotic qi in all directions to tremble. In the end, his body actually formed a mysterious resonance with the chaos around him. The chaos energy started to surge into his body, causing his aura to grow stronger and stronger. Rumble. Behind Ling Xiao, the sky-devouring divine ocean appeared. His entire being was like a bottomless black hole vortex that began to devour the vast chaotic energy around him. Heaven and earth began to tremble. It was as if there was the chanting of gods and demons, or the sound of all living beings praying. It was incomparably mysterious. What? Everyone shuddered, and their eyes were filled with disbelief. They originally thought that Ling Xiao was dead for sure. However, they suddenly realized that a mysterious nine-colored light suddenly bloomed in the chaotic space. The vast chaotic energy was being devoured like a whale swallowing the sea. In an instant, heaven and earth trembled. A mysterious figure bathed in nine-colored divine light rushed out of the chaotic space. Crack. A dazzling light broke through the chaotic space and shot towards Saint Sun Muyuan at an extremely fast speed. This is impossible. Saint Sun Muyuan looked as if he had seen a ghost. His entire body trembled violently. He could not believe what he was seeing. He had used the supreme Polychoria heaven-splitting divine ability. Not only was Ling Xiao not killed by him, but he also rushed out of the chaotic space and exploded with an even more terrifying power. It felt as if the power of the Polychoria heaven-splitting divine ability had been completely devoured by Ling Xiao. It had become a part of Ling Xiao's power, and exploded with a fatal blow towards Saint Sun Muyuan. Crack. The nine-colored divine light was like a sword aura. Its speed was extremely fast. Saint Sun Muyuan's body trembled violently. The robe he was wearing was a powerful defensive sacred treasure. At this moment, it was unable to withstand the power of this attack and exploded into pieces. Bloody mist filled the void. A bloody hole the size of a fist appeared on Saint Sun Muyuan's chest. Fresh blood spurted out from the hole. I don't believe that you can break through my Polychoria heaven-splitting divine ability. Kill. 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 Saint Sun Muyuan was completely deranged. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. 2 streams of blood flowed out from his eyes. A vast amount of chaotic energy gushed out, and an even more terrifying chaotic light burst out and shot towards Ling Xiao. I control the chaotic space. I shall suppress all enemies. Ling Xiao's eyes were extremely cold. His entire person seemed to have entered a mysterious state. An extremely cold voice came out of his mouth. In an instant, a vast amount of divine light gushed out. He opened his mouth and swallowed the chaotic light that Saint Sun Muyuan had unleashed into his stomach. Endless lightning seemed to burst out from within Ling Xiao's body. He flew across the sky, and an unparalleled light burst out from his palm. He attacked with all his might. You actually swallowed my Polychoria heaven-splitting divine ability. Saint Sun Muyuan seemed to have been scared out of his wits. His eyes were filled with terror. Rumble. Heaven and earth trembled. Just as he was distracted, Ling Xiao charged over like an ancient great emperor. His fist landed on Saint Muyuan's body and directly blasted him to smithereens. Crack. A blazing light burst out. Ling Xiao's fist released an unparalleled amount of divine power. It smashed Saint Sun Muyuan's head like a watermelon and dug out his eyes. This pair of eyes was a natural treasure that contained the secrets of chaos. Naturally, Ling Xiao would not let it go. Ling Xiao, I won't let you go. I will make sure that you die without a burial place and never reincarnate. Saint Sun Muyuan's physical body exploded, and his primordial spirit shot out from his body. He looked like a miniature version of Saint Sun Muyuan. At this moment, his eyes were filled with hatred. He glared at Ling Xiao and was about to break open the void and leave this place. You don't know what's good for you. Ling Xiao laughed coldly. The flipping sky seal flew out of his body in an instant. It contained the power to destroy everything. It broke through layers of the void in an instant and blasted directly on Saint Muyuan's primordial spirit. Don't. Let me go. Chapter 2109. Rumble. The divine light slowly dispersed, revealing Ling Xiao's figure. He stood in the air with his black hair fluttering in the wind. His white robe was stained with Saint Sun Muyuan's blood, and his eyes were blazing like lightning. He exuded an extremely terrifying aura. as if he was invincible in the world. Everyone was stunned. Their minds went blank. They were completely stunned by the scene in front of them, and their bodies couldn't stop trembling. What did they just see? The saint son of the heavenly curse sect, a peerless genius of the heaven-treading realm, Muyuan, was killed by Ling Xiao just like that. Saint Sun Muyuan's strength was monstrous, and he was famous in the human race's saint city. Even the infamous sky-reaching demon saint was no match for him, and he was even qualified to fight for the ultimate fortune. However, he was killed by Ling Xiao. His physical body was blown apart, his polychoria was dug out, and even his primordial spirit was forcefully killed, completely annihilated. Everyone felt that it was extremely unreal. Sky-reaching demon saint, where do you think you're going? A cold voice sounded, accompanied by a silver spear light that pierced through the sky, as if it could annihilate everything. Feng Qingyang held the silver spear in his hand, and his murderous aura filled the sky as he shot towards the sky-reaching demon saint. After Ling Xiao killed Saint Sun Muyuan, the sky-reaching demon saint was completely scared out of his wits. He wanted to escape while everyone's attention was on Saint Sun Muyuan. However, Feng Qingyang's attention had always been on the sky-reaching demon saint. When he saw the sky-reaching demon saint trying to escape, he attacked without hesitation. Rumble! The blazing spear contained flames that could burn the heavens and destroy the earth. It pierced through the void and instantly blocked the sky-reaching demon saint's escape route, as if it was going to pierce through him directly. Feng Qingyang, you're courting death. The sky-reaching demon saint was furious, and his eyes were filled with incomparable madness. His demonic aura filled the sky, and a dazzling Dao immortal flower bloomed above his head, sprinkling down mysterious pearls. Boom! An unparalleled divine force erupted, and the great Dao immortal flower blocked Feng Qingyang's spear. The burst of divine force forced Feng Qingyang to retreat. The sky-reaching demon saint didn't dare to continue fighting. He could even feel Ling Xiao's cold gaze, which sent a chill down his spine. Without even thinking, he wanted to tear open the void and escape. You should go and accompany Mu Yuan. Ling Xiao's indifferent voice rang out. A chaotic fist print traversed the space and circled around the 3,000 great worlds. The unparalleled fist will directly shattered the space, causing the surroundings to tremble violently. Ling Xiao, you'll die a horrible death. A look of despair appeared in the sky-reaching demon saint's eyes as he roared furiously. Ling Xiao's punch made him feel the threat of death. Even Saint Muyuan had been killed by Ling Xiao, so how could sky-reaching demon saint, who had already been severely injured? Rumble! Unsurprisingly, the heavenly emperor's fist was domineering. It sealed off the surrounding void and pressed down mightily. The Tongtian demon saint's body crumbled with a loud bang. Even his primordial spirit was shattered by Ling Xiao's punch. Sky-reaching demon saint's great Dao immortal flower bloomed with brilliant light. As sky-reaching demon saint died, the great Dao immortal flower seemed like it was about to be annihilated. However, it was engulfed by a blazing devouring vortex before it could be completely annihilated. Ling Xiao had used the sky-devouring secret skill to devour the great Dao immortal flower. The great Dao immortal flower contained the purest power of the great Dao law. It was even more precious than a divine elixir. It was simply a great supplement for Ling Xiao. After he devoured it, his body instantly emitted dazzling light, and his aura began to soar. In the blink of an eye, sky-reaching demon saint was completely killed. The entire place was dead silent. Everyone looked at Ling Xiao with reverence in their eyes. From today onwards, Ling Xiao's name will probably resound throughout the entire chaotic ancient land. Someone sighed softly. There were 108 ancient cities in the chaotic ancient land. Every ancient city had a peerless genius who dominated the world and was invincible. The peerless genius of the human clan was naturally the Son of Heaven. However, other than the Son of Heaven, there were many extremely powerful experts. These people also had hopes of competing for the final fortune. Everyone seemed to have seen another rising star in the human clan. Ling Xiao killed Mu Yuan. I'm afraid the heavenly curse sect won't let him off so easily. It's said that a saint from the heavenly curse sect severed his own saber and entered the chaotic ancient land. Now he's cultivating in seclusion in a secret place. Once he returns to the saint realm, I'm afraid he'll come back to seek revenge on Ling Xiao. That's right. The 12 immortal sacred lands have a strong foundation. It's not as simple as it seems on the surface. Although it's the end of the era, very few of the billions of races in the universe dare to go head-to-head with the human clan, because of the existence of the 12 immortal sacred lands. I hope Ling Xiao can survive this tribulation. I have a feeling that perhaps he really has a chance to stand shoulder to shoulder with the Son of Heaven. Everyone discussed softly as they watched Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang leave and return to the human clan's holy city. Before the battle began, many people thought that Feng Qingyang would definitely die. After all, both the sky-piercing demon saint and Saint Mu Yuan were peerless geniuses with unparalleled combat strength. They were far from what Feng Qingyang could contend with. However, they didn't expect Ling Xiao to stand up at the critical moment and sweep away the crowd with his peerless strength. He killed the sky-piercing demon saint and Saint Mu Yuan consecutively. The impact of this battle was destined to be far-reaching. Many things that Ling Xiao didn't expect had happened. At this moment, Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang had returned to the Qingyang Pavilion. Ling Xiao, I originally thought that I could fight with you after condensing the human venerable realm. However, I didn't expect the gap between us to grow bigger and bigger. Feng Qingyang said with some emotion. His eyes trembled and revealed a trace of awe. Ling Xiao's strength was far beyond his imagination. He was only a 9th revolution half-saint, but he was able to go against the odds and kill peerless geniuses of the 3rd stage of heaven treading. He had never heard of such a thing. From today onwards, the legend of immortality of the 3rd stage of heaven treading had been broken. I've said it before. Relying on me will be your greatest fortune. However, to be able to condense the human venerable realm so quickly, it seems that your talent is indeed not bad. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. His expression was very calm. Ling Xiao, you are indeed very strong. However, you must be careful of the Son of Heaven. The Son of Heaven's strength is not something you can imagine. Some people say that he has already ascended to the heaven realm. His essence, qi, and spirit have merged as one. He has the 3 flowers at one's prominence and is invincible. Some people also say that he has already become a saint in the heaven realm and is invincible. His strength is far beyond the likes of the sky-piercing demon saint and Saint Mu Yuan. Feng Qingyang said with a solemn expression. Chapter 2110. The Emperor? I'll fight him sooner or later. Let's see who's stronger then. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he said flatly. There was no doubt about the Emperor's strength. Ling Xiao had seen how terrifying the Emperor's Taoist body was. If not for the war god Hull's home ground, it would not have been easy for him to defeat the Emperor's Taoist body. However, the stronger the opponent, the stronger the fighting spirit in Ling Xiao's heart. Buzz. Light flashed in Ling Xiao's palms, and 2 resplendent balls of light appeared in an instant. They looked gorgeous and dazzling, as if they contained 2 mysterious worlds. The chaotic fog was so dense that people couldn't see them clearly. These are the small worlds of Tongtian Demon Saint and Holy Sun Muyuan? Feng Qingyang's eyes flashed as he asked in surprise. That's right. These are their small worlds. I've already killed the 2 of them. Now it's time for us to split the loot. The treasures in their small worlds should not disappoint me. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Generally, the small worlds in the bodies of experts would collapse with the death of the expert. It was extremely difficult to take them out completely. Ling Xiao had only obtained these 2 complete small worlds because he had killed Tongtian Demon Saint and Holy Sun Muyuan with lightning speed, coupled with the mysteries of the heaven-devouring secret skill. The sky-piercing demon sage is vicious and merciless. Who knows how many treasures he stole? Holy Sun Muyuan was a hypocrite. Although he did things secretly, he also obtained many opportunities and creations in the chaotic ancient land. However, these are all treasures that you obtained. There's no need to give them to me. Feng Qingyang shook his head. Let's see what's inside first. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Buzz. The miniature worlds of the sky-reaching demon saint and Saint Mu Yuan trembled slightly. After the 2 of them died, the seals they left behind became much weaker, allowing Ling Xiao to open them very easily. Ling Xiao directly poured out the treasures in the 2 small worlds. dazzling divine light bloomed, causing the void to tremble. It was extremely dazzling and revealed countless treasures of heaven and earth. Feng Qingyang couldn't help but shudder as he sucked in a breath of cold air. How many treasures did these two bastards take? Feng Qingyang said in disbelief. The first thing he saw was the origin source pills. There were many cave mansions of experts in the primal chaos ancient land. Those cave mansions not only contained powerful inheritances, but also a huge amount of origin source pills. Feng Qingyang could see that the Tongtian Overlord Beast Overlord and Saint Mu Yuan had over 1 million origin pills. With over 1 million origin pills, even a pig could be forcefully pushed to the saint realm. Even many saints did not have such a rich net worth. The origin source pill was sparkling and translucent, flowing with the mysterious power of laws. It was about the size of a longan and floated in the void like a mighty heavenly river, mysterious and unfathomable. In addition to the millions of origin pills, there were also many precious medicines. The lowest was a half-step saint medicine, and most of them were origin saint medicines. Each of them was sparkling and translucent, overflowing with light and color, and emitting a mysterious fragrance that greatly raised the spirits of those who smelled it. There were a total of more than 30 origin source sacred herbs. Ling Xiao could recognize that most of these origin source sacred herbs were ancient sacred herbs that had been lost in the divine world. They could be used to refine several kinds of high-level sacred pills. Longevity grass. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He had discovered the longevity grass that he had been looking forward to for a long time in the sky-reaching Demon Saints collection. The longevity grass was only about a foot tall. It was verdant, and its leaves looked like they were carved from jade. It was incomparably exquisite, and contained an incomparably vast and pure aura of life. Although the longevity grass did not look very impressive, Ling Xiao could feel the vast life force within it. This was the main ingredient for refining the longevity golden pill. I wonder what kind of fortune the sky-reaching demon sage encountered. There are actually 3 stalks of longevity grass here? Feng Qingyang was also a little surprised. Previously, they had obtained the 3 longevity golden pills refined by Skirich Demon Sage's clone. Originally, they had assumed that Skirich Demon Sage had used up all the longevity grasses. Unexpectedly, there were still 3 longevity grasses here. This was a pleasant surprise. There are treasures everywhere in the chaotic ancient land. I'm afraid he must have obtained the inheritance of some expert. Ling Xiao said after some thought. In addition to the origin source divine herb, Ling Xiao also discovered 7 or 8 holy treasures. However, most of them were lower-grade holy treasures, so Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang did not pay much attention to them. However, Skirich Demon Sage's ghost head saber and Holy Sun Mu Yuan's cursed scepter attracted Ling Xiao's attention. 2 upper-grade holy treasures, and their power is quite extraordinary. And no, this cursed scepter is a little strange. Ling Xiao observed it carefully. Suddenly his expression changed and his eyes flashed. He saw that the cursed scepter was shrouded in a faint layer of sealing power. The runes of law intertwined within it, and there seemed to be ancient characters hidden within. Could it be the Heaven Curse secret skill? Ling Xiao's body trembled, and his eyes immediately revealed an extremely excited expression. The Heaven Curse secret skill of the Heaven Curse sect was also one of the 12 sky skills. It was also known as the Cursed Sky skill, and it contained the Great Way of Curses. When Ling Xiao was fighting with Mu Yuan, he did not discover that Mu Yuan had used the Heaven Curse secret skill. He thought that Mu Yuan did not cultivate the Heaven Curse secret skill, but he did not expect such a pleasant surprise. Crack. Ling Xiao used a powerful technique to break the sealing power on the curse scepter. Suddenly, ancient runes flew out from it and slowly integrated into Ling Xiao's primordial spirit. The wordless heavenly book also began to shine. It absorbed the runes on the curse scepter, and a mysterious scripture slowly emerged. 7th Heaven Dipper secret skill, Heaven Curse secret skill. Incomplete. The runes on the curse scepter were indeed the Heaven Curse secret skill. However, to Ling Xiao's disappointment, it was only an incomplete version of the Heaven Curse secret skill. It's a pity that I can't capture Mu Yuan's primordial spirit alive. Otherwise, I might be able to interrogate the Heaven Curse secret skill. Ling Xiao thought with some regret. Ling Xiao, Do you want to obtain the Heaven Curse secret skill? Mu Yuan's curse scepter is only an imitation of the real curse scepter. The curse scepter of the Heaven Curse sect is a sect treasure, a supreme imperial weapon. Only it has the complete Heaven Curse secret skill. Feng Qingyang seemed to have guessed Ling Xiao's thoughts and said slowly, I do want to obtain the Heaven Curse secret skill, but unfortunately, it's only an incomplete version. Ling Xiao nodded and said, an incomplete version? It's not impossible to obtain the complete Heaven Curse secret skill. Feng Qingyang suddenly raised his head and said, oh, what kind of opportunity? Ling Xiao asked. The chaotic ancient land is extremely mysterious. Legend has it that it's the origin of the myriad worlds. It's the foundation of all secret skills in the myriad worlds. Even the Heaven Curse secret skill can be found here, but it's not that easy. Feng Qingyang said slowly, can the complete Heaven Curse secret skill be found in the chaotic ancient land? Ling Xiao could not help but feel a rush of excitement. He suddenly thought that if the complete version of the Heaven Curse secret skill could be found in the chaotic ancient land, then the 12 sky skills could also be found in the chaotic ancient land. At the thought of this, Ling Xiao was inexplicably excited. After all, the 12 sky skills were the sect treasures of the 12 immortal sanctuaries. Even the saints of the 12 immortal sanctuaries had only obtained an incomplete version. It was extremely difficult to obtain the complete version. Even if Ling Xiao became a divine sage, he was not confident that he could obtain the 12 sky skills from the 12 immortal sanctuaries. Chapter 21:11. Legend has it that the wordless heavenly book and the other 10 great chaotic treasures were born in the chaotic ancient land. The 12 sky arts were originally recorded in the wordless heavenly book. In the chaotic ancient land, let alone the complete heavenly mantra secret skill, even all the 12 sky arts could be found. But I'm afraid it won't be that easy. Feng Qingyang nodded. He had stayed in the primal chaos ancient land for 3 years, and knew some of the secrets of the primal chaos ancient land. Then you should have the complete yin-yang secret skill with you, right? Ling Xiao said all of a sudden. There was a hint of a smile in his eyes. Feng Qingyang's expression froze, and he jumped up instantly. He looked at Ling Xiao with great vigilance and said, you don't even think about it. The yin-yang secret skill is the supreme heavenly art of the Taishang Taoism Palace. I only have the Yang Scroll, it's not complete. But I can't pass it on to you. Don't be so nervous. I'm just discussing with you, Ling Xiao said with a smile. There's nothing to discuss. Ling Xiao, if you force me to hand over the yin-yang secret skill, I'd rather die than do it, Feng Qingyang said with a red face. You haven't heard my conditions yet. How about this? I'll give you a complete secret skill in exchange. Anyway, you only have the Yang Scroll, it's not the complete yin-yang secret skill, so it's not considered divulging the sect's secrets. I'll give you a complete secret skill, and you'll get a big bargain. Ling Xiao was still smiling as he spoke. A complete secret skill? Although there are 108 Heavenly Dipper and Earthly Fiend secret skills, the most powerful one is the 12 sky arts. Don't try to fool me with those ordinary secret skills. If you want to exchange it for my Yang Scroll, unless you give me a complete heavenly art secret skill. Feng Qingyang coldly snorted, but his eyes revealed an incomparably tempted expression. If he could exchange the Yang Scroll for a complete heavenly art secret skill, it would be beneficial to the Taishang Taoism Palace, and could greatly increase Feng Qingyang's strength. After all, although the 12 sky arts were the secret skills of the 12 immortal sanctuaries, it did not mean that it had never been spread. After all, many powerful races in the heavenly world had dabbled in the secret skills of the heavenly art. No problem. How about I use the secret art of reincarnation to exchange for your Yang Scroll? The secret skill of samsara is the supreme skill of the Samsara Temple. It contains the secrets of the cycle of life and death. If you can cultivate it, your strength will be greatly enhanced. Ling Xiao said patiently. When Ling Xiao heard that Feng Qingyang had the Yang Hand Scroll, he immediately decided that he had to get his hands on it. The complete yin-yang secret skill was divided into the Yin Scroll and the Yang Scroll. Since the Yang Scroll was in Feng Qingyang's hands, Ling Xiao was sure that the Yin Scroll was in Jinsei's hands. Obtaining the Yang scroll almost meant that Ling Xiao had obtained the complete yin-yang secret skill. However, Feng Qingyang did not know the relationship between Ling Xiao and Jin Sei, so he did not think of this point. Samsara Temple's secret skill of Samsara? You even have this? Feng Qingyang's body trembled as his voice trembled. Among the 12 sky arts, the yin-yang secret technique was only ranked 10th while the reincarnation secret technique was ranked 4th. If Feng Qingyang could exchange the reincarnation secret technique with the Yang scroll, it would be a huge gain for him. That's none of your business. Anyway, it was by chance that I obtained the complete secret reincarnation technique. Do you want to exchange? If you don't want to, then forget it. Ling Xiao said with a smile. It had to be said that Feng Qingyang was really tempted. Although he did not believe that Ling Xiao obtained the reincarnation secret technique by chance. Everyone had their own opportunities, so he did not want to delve too deeply into it. However, Feng Qingyang still felt that something was wrong. Ling Xiao's smile made him feel that there was some kind of conspiracy, but he did not feel that anything was wrong. I'll exchange. But you have to pass the reincarnation secret technique to me first. Feng Qingyang thought for a while and gritted his teeth as he agreed. Very good. You've made the right choice. This is the reincarnation secret technique. Take a look, I didn't take advantage of you. Ling Xiao said with a smile. A bright light shone in his palm and a bright crystal ball appeared. It was filled with chaotic mist and runes, looking mysterious and bright. This is the imparting crystal? Feng Qingyang's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. For a supreme technique like the reincarnation secret technique, it contained the heavenly Tao and could not be written in words. It required special divine runes and powerful mental strength to condense the imparting crystal. Ling Xiao was able to condense the imparting crystal because his primordial spirit was strong enough. Otherwise, it would be impossible for anyone below the sage realm to condense the imparting crystal. Feng Qingyang almost believed that this was the secret art of reincarnation. He placed the imparting Tao crystal between his eyebrows and poured his powerful mental strength into the crystal. An incomparably mysterious scripture reverberated with the sound of a great bell, and intertwined with the principles of the great Tao. It slowly integrated into Feng Qingyang's primordial spirit. Rumble. Feng Qingyang's body was surrounded by lightning. Blazing lightning rose and spewed out mysterious 9-colored light. The vast great Tao law descended and shrouded Feng Qingyang like a jade necklace. There seemed to be a mysterious concept of reincarnation around him, making him look incomparably mysterious. After a long time, Feng Qingyang slowly opened his eyes. His eyes were filled with excitement. This is really the reincarnation secret technique. You didn't lie to me. Well, the Yang scroll is yours. Feng Qingyang said seriously as he took out a Tao imparting crystal. However, this imparting crystal was given to him by his master. It was not like Ling Xiao who condensed it himself. It also contained a chance to inherit the Yang scroll. Thank you. Ling Xiao nodded seriously. He knew that although Feng Qingyang had gained a great advantage, he was willing to exchange the Yang scroll with him, which meant that he was taking a great risk. No need. We are just taking what we need. Feng Qingyang raised his head and said proudly. Ling Xiao smiled indifferently. He picked up the imparting crystal and placed it between his eyebrows. Rumble. It was as if a blazing sun was blooming with infinite light. It directly appeared in Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness. The sun exuded an eternal aura and contained the mystery of the supreme Yang. Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness was completely illuminated. In the boundless light, the way of the supreme Yang flowed. The laws of the Great Way descended, causing Ling Xiao's primordial spirit to become crystal clear. He began to rapidly comprehend the true meaning of the Great Way contained within. Using this imparting crystal to inherit the heavenly technique was the fastest way to comprehend the mystery of the heavenly technique. Ling Xiao was almost instantly sure that this was the Real Yang scroll. Chapter 21:12. Ling Xiao then checked the micro-worlds of the Skirich Demon Saint and Saint Muyuan. He found that there were only some ordinary elixirs and martial arts techniques. There were no treasures that caught his eye. However, he had gained a lot this time. Not to mention the origin elixirs and origin source sacred elixirs, The incomplete heavenly curse secret skill was already a pleasant surprise. These origin elixirs and origin source sacred elixirs could strengthen Ling Xiao's cultivation and accumulate more power. This would increase his chances of breaking through to the third stage of heaven treading. After all, Ling Xiao's foundation was too strong. He had accumulated more power than his peers. Naturally, it would be 10 times or even 100 times harder for him to break through to the next stage. Feng Qingyang, take out the sky-reaching jar that you got from Taoist Huanghe. I think it's extraordinary. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he smiled. Sky-reaching jar? Are you talking about this? Feng Qingyang was slightly taken aback. The grayish-brown jar appeared in his palm. There was a layer of seal on top of it. It looked very ordinary, but those with keen divine perception would be able to discover that there was an incomparably vast fluctuation within it. That's right. Open it and take a look. Although Ling Xiao knew that the fragment of the good fortune jade disc was hidden in the sky-reaching jar, he could clearly feel that there was another treasure in the jar. This made him very curious. Okay. Feng Qingyang nodded. Blazing flames rose from his palm and spread toward the layer of seal. The seal on the sky-reaching jar had been loosened for countless years. It soon dimmed as it was burned by Feng Qingyang's supreme yang flame. Crack! With a crisp sound, the seal on the sky-reaching jar broke. An ancient and vast aura gushed out from it. It contained a mysterious majesty like the might of the heavens. This is the aura of the Supreme Emperor. Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang were shocked. They looked at each other and said at the same time. They could feel that the aura in the sky-reaching jar was extremely vast, as if it could annihilate everything. It was eternal and did not weaken with the passage of time. Buzz. A roll of bright yellow silk slowly flew out from the heaven-reaching jar. It shone with a dazzling golden light, causing the space around it to tremble slightly. Feng Qingyang stretched out his hand, and the silk scroll flew into his palm. Then it slowly unfolded, revealing the contents within. Escape. A large, flamboyant character emitted a dazzling light, as though it contained the mysterious laws of space. It wanted to bring Feng Qingyang directly into the void. This is actually a great emperor's decree? Although it was not an offensive Tao, it was a supreme treasure that could save one's life. Using an exalted golden core to exchange for it is indeed not a loss. Feng Qingyang was pleasantly surprised. A supreme golden pill was extremely precious to him. Although he had taken it out in a fit of pique, he still felt extremely pained in his heart. At this moment, he was pleasantly surprised when he saw that the great emperor's decree was inside the heavenly jar. He could feel that if he activated the power of the great emperor's decree, it could allow him to teleport across hundreds of millions of miles of mountains and rivers. It was a supreme treasure that could save one's life. Feng Qingyang was a little hesitant. Logically speaking, Ling Xiao had saved his life, so he should give the great emperor's decree to Ling Xiao. However, he was reluctant to do so. Ling Xiao seemed to have noticed the hesitation in Feng Qingyang's eyes. He smiled and said, "There is nothing to hesitate about. You exchanged it with the supreme golden core. A gentleman does not take what others love. You can keep it for yourself. If you want to repay me, give me this jar. How about it?" This jar? It was originally a vessel of the great emperor's decree. If you want it, just take it. Feng Qingyang heaved a sigh of relief and pretended to be generous. Although he knew that Ling Xiao's request for this jar meant that this jar was definitely not simple, he was a smart person and did not ask further. "Thank you." Ling Xiao smiled faintly and took the sky-reaching jar without hesitation. Ling Xiao had already noticed that the fragment of the good fortune jade disc had been integrated into the sky-reaching jar. This made Ling Xiao even more curious about the origin of the sky-reaching jar. Since Taoist Huang he knew that there was a supreme treasure in the sky-reaching jar, why did he not open it himself but instead put it up for auction? The biggest possibility is that Taoist Huang he knows what is in the sky-reaching jar. Or rather, the sky-reaching jar originally belonged to him. It seems that Taoist Huang He's origin is very mysterious. Ling Xiao thought to himself secretly. Rumble. The moment the sky-reaching jar entered Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, it suddenly shattered and a sparkling jade fragment appeared. It looked flawless and instantly integrated into the full moon in his sea of consciousness. The good fortune jade disc shone with boundless light. Ling Xiao could feel that the good fortune jade disc had become more complete, and its aura had become more powerful and mysterious. Although Ling Xiao could not activate the good fortune jade disc as he wished, the good fortune jade disc had saved his life once. Ling Xiao believed that once the good fortune jade disc was collected, it would not disappoint him, and would be able to erupt with extremely powerful strength. Ling Xiao, you killed Holy Sun Muyuan. I'm afraid the Heavenly Curse sect will not let you off easily. I heard that Holy Sun Muyuan was on good terms with the Emperor. If the Emperor takes action, I'm afraid there will be big trouble, Feng Qingyang said slowly. When he mentioned the Emperor, his expression became extremely solemn. The Heavenly Curse sect? Even if there is a sage, he is just a useless person. As for the Emperor, what realm is he in now? Ling Xiao smiled faintly. However, the Emperor's strength had left a deep impression on him. Ling Xiao had seen the Emperor twice. The first time was when the Emperor was born and Zhou Panlong was extremely wary of him. The second time was when the Emperor sent someone to give Ling Xiao a decree. In the end, the two great geniuses were killed by Ling Xiao. The Emperor's Taoist body descended with unparalleled power. Ling Xiao had a hunch that the Emperor would be his greatest enemy. In this chaotic ancient land, there would be a battle sooner or later. The Emperor? I suspect that he has reached the third level of the heaven-treading realm, and has condensed the three venerables of heaven, earth, and human. He has reached the peak of the heaven-treading realm. This is because I once saw with my own eyes that he killed an expert who had condensed the human venerables with a single move. Feng Qingyang said solemnly. He killed an expert who had condensed the human venerables with a single move, as expected of the Emperor's son. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of incomparably sharp divine light. Battle intent surged from his body, and his aura was concealed. Even if Ling Xiao attacked with all his strength, it was impossible for him to kill an expert who had condensed the human venerables with a single move. Although the sky-piercing demon saint and Holy Sun Muyuan had died in Ling Zhao's hands in the end, Ling Xiao had used all his strength. It was not as easy as it seemed on the surface. The Emperor's strength should be above his. Chapter 21:13. Feng Qingyang, I'm going to the Monsters' Saint City to look for some old friends. Do you know where the Monsters' Saint City is? Ling Xiao glanced at Feng Qingyang and asked. The Monsters' Saint City? It's not too far from the human Saint City, but it's in a different space. You'll have to travel through the void, and there are many dangerous secret realms along the way. I don't have anything to do, so I'll bring you to the Monsters' Saint City, Feng Qingyang said after some thought. The chaotic ancient land was a vast land, but the 108 holy cities did not belong to the same space. Without a set of coordinates or someone to guide the way, it was very easy to get lost in the chaos and not find the right direction. Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang left the human Saint City and headed to the Monsters' Saint City. Just as Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang left the human Saint City, in a secret villa. Reporting to the two elders, Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang have left the Qingyang Pavilion and left the city. An ordinary-looking woman knelt respectfully in front of the two white-haired old men and said. One of the two white-haired elders was in a white robe, while the other was in a black robe. Their auras were extremely powerful, and they were surrounded by a faint saint aura. Their eyes were filled with coldness and killing intent. They left the human Saint City so soon? How can it be so easy to escape? They must pay with their lives for Mu Yuan. The white-robed elder said coldly. Fortunately, we were prepared. We knew that they wouldn't dare to stay in the human Saint City for long. It's convenient for us to act now that they've left the human Saint City. The black-robed elder said with a cold smile. I'll inform the dragon and tiger saints to kill Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang. This time they must die without a burial place. The white-robed elder said with a murderous look. He and the black-robed elder were both saints of the Heavenly Curse sect. They had severed their cultivation and entered the chaotic ancient land. Now they had both recovered to the saint realm. Saint Sun Muyuan's death had infuriated them. They hated Ling Xiao to the core and wanted to tear him to pieces. However, it was not easy to make a move in the human race's Saint City. Therefore, they secretly hired the dragon and tiger saints to kill Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang. Elders Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang are extremely powerful. I'm afraid they're not weaker than ordinary saints. It won't be easy for the dragon and tiger saints to kill them, right? The ordinary-looking woman said hesitantly. She was a true disciple of the Heavenly Curse sect. She was good at concealing her aura and whereabouts. She was sent to monitor Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang's every move. Don't worry. The dragon and tiger sages were proficient in the dragon and tiger combination technique. When the two of them joined forces, they could easily defeat saints of the same level. They were extremely powerful. What's more, they still have a trump card. A trump card that is enough to make Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang unable to make a comeback. Coupled with the Heavenly Curse sect's Great Emperor's decree, these two will definitely die. The black-robed old man sneered. The decree of the Great Emperor? Once the Extreme Tao Emperor's aura is released, Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang will definitely die. The ordinary-looking woman's heart trembled, and she nodded. The Great Emperor's decree was a precious treasure. It was a great killing weapon that could even kill a saint. It seemed like Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang were really going to die. The fall of the two supreme geniuses of the human clan would probably set off a huge earthquake in the human clan's Saint City. Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang did not know that the conspiracy against them had already begun. Even if they knew, Ling Xiao did not care. In the entire human clan's Saint City, the only person that he cared about was the Emperor. The Heavenly Curse sect was no longer in his consideration. Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang left the human clan's Saint City together and moved towards the demon clan's Saint City. Whoosh! Whoosh! Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang's speed was extremely fast. At their current cultivation level, they could already use the Great Void teleportation technique to travel through the void. They could travel thousands of miles in an instant, as if space was nothing. They left the vast and majestic human clan's Saint City. The surrounding was filled with chaotic fog. Below them, there were continuous mountains and rivers and seas. Everything was exuding an ancient and wild aura. In the beginning, there were faint lights flashing around. After Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang had flown for tens of thousands of miles, an incomparably dark area appeared in front of them. There were mysterious mountains floating amidst the primordial chaos. Huge stars were incomparably desolate, devoid of any aura of life. There were even towering ancient trees taking root in the void. Mysterious rivers flowed in the darkness. Everything looked incomparably mysterious. For some reason, Ling Xiao could feel that this area was incomparably dangerous. It was terrifyingly quiet. Ling Xiao, this area is called the Voidland. Everything you see in front of you may be real, or it may be a projection of millions of miles away. This place is full of danger and the unknown. However, after passing through the Voidland, we will be able to reach the Demon Clan's Saint City, Feng Qingyang said slowly with a solemn expression. The Voidland? What's in there? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he asked. I'm not very sure either. Although I have been training in the chaotic ancient land for the past few years, I have not been to the Demon Clan's Saint City. Legend has it that the Voidland is a forbidden area that contains an incomparably strange curse. If you are infected by the curse, you will become a part of the Voidland and will never be able to leave. Feng Qingyang shook his head and said, Then let's see what's in the Voidland. It seems like someone is following us? Ling Xiao said as he looked at the dark area in front of him. Suddenly, a divine light flashed in his eyes, revealing a trace of sharpness. After entering the chaotic ancient land, Ling Xiao's divine instinct had become sharper. It seemed that the secret skills of fate and karma had taken effect, allowing him to see the unseen dangers. Ling Xiao vaguely felt that behind him and Feng Qingyang, there seemed to be two incomparably powerful auras that were quietly pursuing them. I don't feel any aura. However, if someone is really following us, I'm afraid it's the people from the Heavenly Curse sect. They are the only ones who hate us to the core. Perhaps those old guys from the Heavenly Curse sect have followed us personally, Feng Qingyang said with some doubts. It shouldn't be wrong. Let's enter the Voidland first. We'll give them a surprise then, Ling Xiao said with a cold smile. In an instant he displayed the heaven-shrouding secret skill. His entire body seemed to have merged with the surrounding darkness as he shot toward the void land instantly. Feng Qingyang also followed closely behind. After a while, a light flashed at the place where Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang were just a moment ago, and two figures appeared instantly. Chapter 21:14. Rumble. Their bodies exuded a vast saint aura, and the dazzling light condensed into a saint halo behind them. Their bodies were permeated with a mysterious wave of immortality. These were two true saints. They actually entered the Void Land? It seems like they want to pass through the Void Land and head to the demon race's holy city. The young man with a violent aura sneered with sharp eyes. Second brother, Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang can't be underestimated. Feng Qingyang has condensed the human sovereign realm. Ling Xiao's cultivation is only at the 9th revolution half-saint realm, but he managed to kill the piercing demon saint and Saint Sun Muyuan. I'm afraid his battle prowess is comparable to an ordinary saint. Although we've accepted this mission, we must be careful. The young man, who looked incomparably feminine, revealed a cruel and cunning look in his eyes. The two of them were the assassins hired by the Heavenly Curse sect, the Dragon and Tiger Saints. The Dragon and Tiger Saints were very famous in the ancient primal chaos land. They were only ordinary 9th revolution half-step saints in the divine world. However, they found a supreme fortune in a sage king's abode after entering the ancient primal chaos land. Not only did they break through to the sage realm in one fell swoop, but they also practiced several powerful sage techniques and divine abilities. In addition, they were ruthless and cunning. Many people had fallen into their hands, and they even had the magnificent feat of killing a saint. In recent years, they had become famous assassins in the chaotic ancient land. They relied on the astronomical rewards to obtain countless resources, making their strength even more unfathomable. The Dragon and Tiger Saints were originally hesitant to accept this mission, but the rewards offered by the Heavenly Curse sect were too tempting. If they could successfully cultivate a supreme monarch art, they might be able to sweep through the saint realm and become invincible. In addition, the Heavenly Curse sect had even given them a monarch's decree, so they accepted the mission. Big brother, aren't you overestimating them? Feng Qingyang is nothing to worry about. Ling Xiao only has a strong physical body and a supreme treasure for self-defense. That's why he was able to kill the piercing demon saint and Saint Sun Muyuan. We have that. Hee, they're dead for sure. The young man with the violent aura was called Tiger Sage. He wanted to say something, but Dragon Sage glared at him. He immediately chuckled and shut his mouth. Second brother, be careful with your words. I don't believe in luck. Anyway, there's nothing wrong with being careful. These few years have been smooth sailing. I think you've become a little arrogant. The Chaos Ancient Land is fraught with danger. You can't be too careful. Dragon Sage glanced at Tiger Sage and warned. Tiger Sage's heart turned cold. He nodded and said, Big brother's lecture is right. I'll remember it. However, the nothingness is filled with danger. Where are we going to find them? Let's go in and take a look first. We'll play it by ear. If we really can't find them, then we'll go to the exit of the nothingness. If they want to go to the monster race's holy city, they will definitely pass through there. Murderous intent flashed in Long Sheng's eyes, and he instantly leaped into the void. Ling Xiao. The color of blood filled Tiger Sage's eyes. He licked his lips and a sinister smile appeared on his face. In an instant, he chased after Dragon Sage. The nothingness seemed to be a place where reality and illusion intertwined. Everything here was impossible to distinguish between reality and illusion. Even the perception of the primordial spirit was reduced to the lowest level. Those with a weak mind might even be completely lost in the nothingness, never to leave. The land of nothingness was a forbidden area that made people pale at the mere mention of it. Many experts had fallen there, but it was also rumored that the land of nothingness contained supreme fortune and opportunity. It was just that its owner had yet to arrive, and was waiting for someone to open it. Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang entered the nothingness, and headed towards the depths. As Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang had never been here before, both of them were very careful. They used the breath-concealing technique, and flew in the dark void. Ling Xiao could see that the huge stars were cold and dry. There was no breath of life. The mountains and mysterious rivers were all floating in the dark void. The surroundings were dead silent. If an ordinary person stayed here for a long time, they would probably go crazy. Ling Xiao, are you sure there's someone following us? Feng Qingyang asked doubtfully. It shouldn't be wrong. However, we have entered the nothingness. The dark void suppresses the perception of the primordial spirit. Moreover, we have concealed our breath. I'm afraid it won't be easy for them to track us. Perhaps we can ambush them once. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he spoke slowly. Ambush? How was he going to ambush them? We know nothing about the nothingness. We don't know who is coming. It won't be a good thing if we rashly confront them. Feng Qingyang asked curiously. I have already sensed that there might be a suitable place for us to set up an ambush. Ling Xiao stared at the dark void in front of him as he spoke. Then he moved forward. There were 3 black stars floating there. They looked as black as ink, without a trace of light. There were no other stars or mountains in the surroundings. It looked bare. However, for some reason, Ling Xiao felt an extremely strong sense of danger from the 3 stars. That was the perception of the secret skill of fate. Ling Xiao believed in the perception of the secret skill of fate, but he still wanted to check it out. Although Feng Qingyang was a little confused, he did not say anything. He followed Ling Xiao to the 3 black stars. Buzz. Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang didn't feel it until they got close to the 3 stars. The 3 stars were emitting very weak waves like water ripples. It seemed to contain some kind of strange rhythm that was transmitted into the depths of the void. Although the void in the distance was still black, it gave Ling Xiao a different feeling. It seemed to be flickering, as if the void was shattered. It was very mysterious. Could these 3 stars be living creatures? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat, and a solemn expression appeared in his eyes. He could feel that the 3 black stars were beating like hearts. It seemed to contain an extremely mysterious power. The darkness was extremely dense. It intertwined around the 3 stars, and formed a strong force field. It caused the void to be slightly distorted. It seemed that as long as one stepped into this force field, he would be torn to pieces. Chapter 21:15. What a strong ominous aura. Feng Qingyang's complexion turned somewhat pale. He took a few steps closer to the 3 stars and immediately felt a wave of murderous aura rushing towards him like a tsunami, causing his primordial spirit to palpitate and his heart to beat wildly. He had a feeling that as long as he took another step, he would be completely integrated with the ominous aura in front of him and become a part of the chaos, losing all vitality. According to the positions of the stars, these 3 stars are the 7 kills, the army destroyer, and the greedy wolf, the 3 supreme stars? Could it be that this place used to be a vast starry sky? Ling Xiao was shocked and said in disbelief. The 7 slaughter, wolf supreme star? The most ominous and ominous power? No wonder it's so terrifying. You're not planning to set up a trap here, right? The 7 slaughter, wolf supreme star is too terrifying. If we're not careful, we'll all die here. Feng Qingyang said with a wry smile. A place of great ominous aura will either nurture a treasure of extreme yang or extreme yin. Do you really think that the 7 slaughter, wolf supreme star is naturally formed? I suspect that someone deliberately set it up. Ling Xiao said with a burning gaze. Someone deliberately set up the 7 slaughter, wolf supreme star? It's impossible. Who could be so generous? Feng Qingyang's body trembled, and his eyes revealed a trace of incomparable horror. Feng Qingyang guessed that even a true sage, or even a great sage, would be completely annihilated if they entered the domain of these 3 stars. Feng Qingyang's soul was about to scatter. Feng Qingyang's soul was about to scatter. He guessed that even a true sage, or even a great sage, would be completely annihilated in the domain of these 3 stars. Could it be the legendary Sage King who could set up such a formation? Feng Qingyang dared not think about it anymore. This void was indeed full of unknowns. Wait for me here. I'll go in and take a look. Ling Xiao said slowly. Do you want to die? The 7 slaughter, wolf supreme star is a place of ominous aura. Don't be blinded by any treasure. No treasure is more important than your life. Feng Qingyang hurriedly stopped Ling Xiao and said anxiously. Don't worry. I'm fine. The 7 slaughter, Wolf Supreme Star is only effective on living creatures. It has no effect on inanimate objects. You see. Ling Xiao smiled indifferently and flicked his finger. Immediately, a huge floating rock shot towards Xia Pelang's domain. In the end, it landed on a star and shattered. However, the power of the domain didn't affect it at all. It's useless against inanimate objects, but you're not an inanimate object. You? Feng Qingyang said angrily. He wanted to continue to stop Ling Xiao, but his expression changed and revealed a trace of astonishment. Ling Xiao's aura instantly disappeared without a trace. He was like a cold stone. His primordial spirit's fluctuation, vitality, and even his most important fate had all disappeared. Ling Xiao was standing in front of Feng Qingyang, but Feng Qingyang felt that Ling Xiao was like a cold stone. Be careful, I'll be right back. Ling Xiao smiled at Feng Qingyang and shot towards the killing, breaking, and Lang stars. Buzz. Feng Qingyang could feel that the mysterious evil spirit domain between the kill, break, and wolf stars was like a small stone falling into it. Waves of strange fluctuations rippled out, and Ling Xiao quietly entered the domain and disappeared. I should be able to hold on for another 2 hours. I hope I can find out the secret of the killing, breaking, and Lang stars as soon as possible. Ling Xiao thought to himself. The reason why he could conceal his aura, and even his primordial spirit and fate was that, in addition to the heaven-shrouding secret skill, he had also used the incomplete secret skill of fate. It was as if he had cut off his own line of fate, and completely disappeared in the long river of fate. He had turned into a lifeless rock. However, because the secret skill of fate was incomplete, Ling Xiao could not maintain this state for long. At most, he could only maintain this state for 2 to 4 hours. Rumble. The surrounding darkness seemed to be so dense that it could not be dispersed. It was the most fundamental law of darkness, which intertwined to form a mysterious domain. Murderous intent permeated the air and surged. It was like the murderous intent condensed from the deaths of billions of living beings. It was extremely pure and could annihilate all living beings. This was the pattern of the killing, breaking, and Lang stars. It was also a place of supreme killing intent. Even saints would not dare to set foot in it easily, but Ling Xiao had carefully entered it. He passed through this domain of dark baleful aura and landed on the 7 kills star. Although this star was incomparably huge, it was filled with monstrous killing intent. Moreover, it gathered into a terrifying storm that connected the sky and the sun. The scene was incomparably terrifying. Ling Xiao could only sense the purest murderous intent. If there really was a living being that could withstand the pressure and come here, they would probably be instantly trapped in the endless murderous illusions and undergo the cruelest trials and tempering. If I can cultivate here for a period of time, my battle prowess will definitely increase greatly. Ling Xiao was rather shocked, but he also felt that it was a pity. Only this kind of pure killing intent could temper the most resolute will and the most powerful physique. However, this was not something that an ordinary person could endure. Otherwise, they would probably explode from the killing intent in an instant, and their souls would completely scatter. It was just a pity that Ling Xiao could not maintain this state for too long. He could not cultivate here for too long. Whoosh! Ling Xiao leaped up and landed on the Alcade star and the Ravenous Wolf star respectively. On the Alcade star, there was the strongest fighting intent. It formed an extremely mysterious illusion, as if it could simulate the scenes of ancient battles and train the strongest battle instincts. On the Ravenous Wolf star, there was the most original murderous intent. It could destroy the primordial spirit, and could also reconstruct it. It represented destruction and rebirth, condensing a powerful force. Murderous intent, fighting intent, and murderous intent. These 3 most original forces formed the dark pattern of the killing, breaking, and Lang stars. However, Ling Xiao did not discover anything special on these 3 stars. What's that? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. Suddenly, he saw that in the center of the 3 stars, there was a place filled with murderous intent. He could vaguely see an ancient palace. Shrouded in endless darkness, the palace flickered. It was hidden between reality and illusion, as if it would disappear at any time. Ling Xiao suddenly had a feeling that something in the palace was calling out to him. giving him an extremely strong feeling. Ling Xiao made up his mind almost instantly. He leaped up and flew towards the palace. Shrouded in darkness, reality and illusion intertwined. There was even a trace of chaotic air in the air, making the palace look extremely mysterious. It was as if it was the residence of the gods and demons. Ling Xiao stood in front of the palace and stretched out a hand. Wang. The palace trembled slightly, as if it existed in another time and space. Ling Xiao's hand passed through without any hindrance. He did not touch anything. Chapter 21:16. Someone has set up a space-time enchantment around this palace? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed and he could tell that something was amiss. The palace that was shrouded in darkness looked extremely mysterious. It was very likely that the secret of the killing-breaking wolf pattern was hidden there. However, Ling Xiao was blocked outside and couldn't get close to the palace. He could sense that there was a layer of mysterious space-time energy around the palace. It was the energy of the fusion of time and space, forming a mysterious enchantment. It looked like it was right in front of him, but it was actually isolated from space-time, making it impossible for anyone to enter. Space-time enchantment. Could it be someone from the space-time heavenly gate? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed and he immediately thought of Bufan, whom he had met before. Bufan had a time compass and cultivated the time compass. His identity was extremely mysterious. In the God world, the space-time heavenly gate was naturally the most proficient in the space-time Tao. I really want to see what's hidden here. Ling Xiao sneered in his heart. Radiance shone from his palm, and 3 time compasses floated out at the same time. Mysterious runes circled around them, and the power of time flowed. Buzz. Ling Xiao used the time scripture to activate the time compass. Instantly, the time compass floated up and turned into 3 bright balls of light around him. They slowly floated forward. An extremely beautiful scene appeared in front of Ling Xiao. Mysterious radiance flowed and time flowed endlessly. It was as though the fog of time had been pushed aside and he could see the truth. The palace that was shrouded in darkness trembled slightly. Runes flowed in the mysterious space-time enchantment, but there was also the power of space that appeared. It was as though there were layers and layers of illusions in space. Break. Ling Xiao seemed to have expected this. When he saw this scene, he couldn't help but scold softly. 9 heavenly Tao primal chaos tablets rose into the sky and intertwined with each other to form a mysterious ring. They flew across the sky and imprinted on the layers of illusions in space. Suddenly, heaven and earth shook and darkness surged. It was as though a hurricane had been set off. Above the huge space-time enchantment, a door instantly appeared. A divine light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes, and he instantly shot into the cave. What a powerful space-time enchantment! If it wasn't for the 3 time compasses, it would be difficult to enter. Ling Xiao heaved a sigh of relief and muttered to himself. The most powerful aspect of the space-time barrier was still the power of time. Time was known as a taboo. Ordinary people would not be able to come into contact with the power of time. On the contrary, the space law was more common. Ever since many experts came into contact with the true meaning of the Great Tao, the first thing they came into contact with was the power of the space law. The heavenly Tao primal chaos tablet was able to break through the void. Breaking through the spatial enchantment wasn't much of a problem. However, the power of time here was incomparably strong. If Ling Xiao hadn't used the power of the 3 time compasses, he probably wouldn't have been able to enter. After entering the palace, Ling Xiao began to observe the surroundings. This was an extremely ancient palace, and its entire body was built with black stones. It looked extremely simple and unadorned, emitting a savage aura. The mottled walls flowed with the aura of the passage of time. Ling Xiao saw 3 ancient stone mirrors in the palace. The stone mirror appeared to be extremely large, over 300 meters tall. Chaotic light flowed all over its surface, and strands of mysterious baleful aura emanated from it. When Ling Xiao saw what was reflected in the stone mirror, his body instantly shook. His eyes were filled with disbelief and shock. The first stone mirror reflected a huge saber that spanned across the heavens. It seemed to be the weapon of a chaotic divine demon. It was hundreds of millions of miles long, and it was like a vast galaxy floating in the chaos. The second stone mirror reflected an indestructible long spear. It was as black as ink, and it flowed with an eternal aura. It contained an endless battle intent, as though it could destroy the heavens and the earth with a single strike. The third stone mirror reflected a dazzling long sword. The sword aura swept across the heavens, and its sharpness was unparalleled. It seemed to be able to slice the heavens and the myriad of worlds into dust. It was extraordinarily sharp. Saber, spear, and sword, these three great weapons strangely appeared in the stone mirror just like that. This is actually an extreme Tao Emperor weapon. Ling Zhao's voice was trembling, and his eyes were filled with shock. He could clearly feel that the three weapons were exuding an extreme Tao Emperor aura. It was eternal and indestructible, as though it could destroy everything. At a glance, he recognized that these were extreme Tao Emperor weapons. Only extreme Tao Emperor weapons could possess such terrifying aura. No, these are not real extreme Tao Emperor weapons. These are just the imprints of extreme Tao Emperor weapons. A sharp light flashed across Ling Zhao's eyes. If the three extreme Tao Emperor weapons were here, the entire Void Land would have been destroyed, not to mention the formation of Xiaolang and the three stars. The three fully awakened extreme Tao Emperor weapons were equivalent to three supreme emperors. Their peerless divine aura was enough to destroy the chaotic ancient land and pierce through the myriad of worlds. The saber, spear, and sword in the three stone mirrors were the imprints of extreme Tao Emperor weapons. No one knew who had used a supreme technique to set up such a place, forming the three imprints. Even the imprints of extreme Tao Emperor weapons were incomparably precious. If one could comprehend the Emperor intent within the imprints of extreme Tao Emperor weapons, not only would one's cultivation improve tremendously, one could also comprehend the Supreme Emperor skills hidden within, and possess unparalleled combat strength. The saber is the king of all weapons, the spear is the ancestor of all weapons, and the sword is the king of all weapons. Could these three extreme Tao Emperor weapons be related to the formation of Xiaolang and the three stars? Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat. He suddenly remembered that he had sensed the mysterious power within the 7 killing stars, the army destroyer stars, and the greedy wolf stars. It was a kind of imprint of time, growing and multiplying endlessly. The three ancient mirrors in front of him seemed to be connected to the Xiaolang and the three stars. It absorbed the mysterious energy from them and gradually formed the imprints of the three extreme Tao Emperor weapons. If I can peel off the imprints of the three extreme Tao Emperor weapons, it should be enough for me to have 3 life-saving trump cards. With the imprints of the three extreme Tao Emperor weapons, it should be enough to kill a great sage. However, I have a better choice. I can use the heavenly battle skill to refine the imprints of the extreme Tao Emperor weapons. My heavenly battle skill will reach great success, and I will be invincible. Ling Zhao's eyes flickered as he thought excitedly. It did not matter who had left such a method to set up the formation of the Xiaolang and the three stars to absorb the imprints of the three extreme Tao Emperor weapons. It was a great opportunity for Ling Zhao. I've just broken the space-time barrier. I'm afraid the owner of this place has been alerted. Without further ado, I shall refine the imprints of the three extreme Tao Emperor weapons. Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat, and he immediately sat cross-legged before the three stone mirrors. Bang! Chapter 21:17. Boom. Divine light bloomed in the sky like a rain of light. It was dazzling, and the three stone mirrors in front of Ling Zhao began to tremble slightly. The battle heavenly technique was the supreme secret technique of the War God Temple. It contained the secrets of battle, and possessed unparalleled killing power. Among the 12 heavenly techniques, the battle heavenly technique was considered the #1 killing secret technique. Its power was terrifying. After Ling Zhao had obtained the inheritance of the heavenly battle skill, he had only started to cultivate the heavenly battle skill. The Yen Emperor Cauldron formed by the heavenly battle skill was extremely powerful. However, if he wanted to cultivate the heavenly battle skill to the great completion realm, he had to continuously absorb the imprints of powerful divine weapons and make the heavenly battle skill a part of himself. The imperial weapon imprints in the three stone mirrors were the best nourishment for Ling Zhao to cultivate the heavenly battle skill. Ling Xiao had a premonition that if he absorbed the 3 imperial weapon imprints, he would be able to cultivate the heavenly battle skill to the great completion realm. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in front of the stone mirror. Runes rose around his body, forming a mysterious world. It was as if there were numerous illusory images of divine weapons that could destroy the heavens and the earth. They were incomparably fierce. The imperial weapon imprints in the stone mirrors trembled slightly, and released an extremely powerful emperor's aura. It was as if the 3 emperors' weapons had been completely awakened. Gotcha! The void shook violently. The long saber in the first stone mirror flew out of the stone mirror, and into the divine weapon world above Ling Xiao's head. In an instant, the wind and clouds shook and the void roared. Endless saber radiance was terrifying and seemed to be able to destroy everything. The divine weapon world was shaking. Buzz! Ling Xiao pushed his arms out. Blazing flames rose and formed the Yen Emperor Cauldron above his head. The Yen Emperor Cauldron spewed out endless flames, and the surrounding void seemed to be distorted. The long saber slashed at the Yen Emperor Cauldron and released an unparalleled divine radiance. Every collision seemed to cause the heavens and earth to shatter. The power was extremely terrifying. However, as the long saber and the Yen Emperor Cauldron collided, the 2 emperors' auras merged and became harmonious. In the end, they intertwined and Ling Xiao's aura became even more powerful. Boom! Boom! The second stone mirror and the third stone mirror also began to tremble. The battle spear soared into the sky, and the long sword pierced through the sky. The spear and the sword contained unparalleled sharpness, and with a loud bang, they collided with the world of the divine weapon above Ling Xiao's head. Incomparably terrifying divine light burst out like a huge wave rising from the sea. The aura was incomparably terrifying, as if it could completely annihilate everything. Ling Xiao's figure was engulfed by the blazing light. Just as Ling Xiao was refining the 3 sovereign weapon imprints, in the void millions of miles away, there was a palace floating in the primal chaos. It was ancient and mysterious. At this moment, a young man in the palace suddenly opened his eyes. It was as if there were blazing lightning piercing through the sky. His eyes were filled with rage and shock. Who is it? How dare you touch my imperial armament imprint? Rumble. Blazing flames spewed out in an instant. Endless fiery light gushed out from the young man's body. It was as dazzling as the sun, and it exuded an aura of extreme yang. He was wearing golden armor, and his figure was slender and handsome. His golden hair danced in the wind, and his face was incomparably handsome. However, his eyes were filled with killing intent, and his aura was incomparably sharp and terrifying. No matter who you are, you must die for daring to touch my imperial armament imprint. The voice of the young man in golden armor was incomparably cold. He took a step forward and instantly, the void trembled. A spatial gate directly appeared. He entered the spatial gate and completely disappeared. Boom! In the palace, Ling Xiao had completely refined the 3 sovereign weapon imprints. Above his head, with the Yen Emperor Cauldron as the center, there was a saber, a spear, and a sword. The 4 supreme emperor weapons intertwined with each other, exuding an extremely terrifying aura, causing Ling Xiao's aura to become even sharper. The heavenly battle skill has finally been completed. Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with shock, and there was a tinge of excitement in his eyes. With the 4 supreme emperor weapons as the foundation, Ling Xiao's heavenly battle skill had been completed. Next, as he gradually comprehended the heavenly battle skill and the fighting great way, his combat strength would become increasingly powerful, and he would be able to unleash a terrifying power. However, as the heavenly battle skill had refined the 3 sovereign weapon imprints, it had become more difficult for Ling Xiao to unleash the heavenly battle skill. If the 4 supreme emperor weapons were to appear at the same time, Ling Xiao would only be able to unleash a single blow. However, the power of that blow would definitely be extremely terrifying. Someone must have purposely collected the sovereign weapon imprints here. I'd better leave this place first. Otherwise, if the owner of this place comes, things will be bad. Ling Xiao thought to himself as he prepared to leave the palace. Puss. Suddenly, Ling Xiao felt an extremely sharp killing intent coming from behind him, causing all the hair on his body to stand on end. Ling Xiao did not even hesitate. The flipping sky seal flashed and blocked his back. He then executed a teleportation secret skill and moved to the side. Gotcha. The flipping sky seal trembled slightly, and a dazzling halberd shadow exploded. It was as though the heavens and earth had been split into two. Who is it? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he looked at the void behind him. The void rumbled and a space door appeared out of nowhere. A young man in golden armor walked out with a halberd in his hand. The aura around him was violent and sharp. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent, and he instantly locked onto Ling Xiao. You're asking me who I am? You stole my sovereign weapon imprints. If you don't hand them over today, don't blame me for being rude. The young man in golden armor said coldly. When he saw that the 3 stone mirrors were empty and the imprints of the imperial weapons had completely disappeared, he knew that they had all fallen into Ling Xiao's hands. He was still too late. The anger in his heart burned even more fiercely. Your sovereign weapon imprints? Who are you? You say that the sovereign weapon imprints are yours and they are yours? What a joke. Treasures belong to those who are fated. I am fated with them, and the sovereign weapon imprints are naturally mine. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. However, there was a strange look in his eyes. He did not expect the owner of the sovereign weapon imprints to come after he had just refined the 3 sovereign weapon imprints. Most importantly, Ling Xiao realized that the young man in golden armor was a woman. This secret realm was left behind by the ancestors of my Golden Emperor tribe. The treasures in it are naturally mine. You thief, if you don't hand them over, don't blame me for being rude. The young man in golden armor said furiously. Golden Emperor tribe? Hearing these words, Ling Xiao's heart could not help but tremble. Chapter 21:18. Although the young man in the golden armor was dressed as a man, his face was extremely handsome. His skin was as clear as jade and his legs were extremely long. His eyes were as bright as the stars and his body exuded a feminine aura. Ling Xiao's senses were extremely sharp, and he was almost instantly sure that the young man in the golden armor was a woman. The Golden Emperor clan that she had mentioned shocked Ling Xiao even more. The Golden Emperor clan was the bloodline descendant of the Golden Emperor. The Golden Emperor was one of the 9 emperors of the human clan. At the beginning of the era, he had once fought against the experts of all clans and the great emperors. In the end, he had died of exhaustion. The Golden Emperor might not have been the most powerful of the 9 emperors of the human clan, but he had died the most tragic death. His death for the human clan was worthy of praise and tears. Until now, anyone in the divine world who heard the name of the Golden Emperor would feel deep veneration. Although the Golden Emperor clan was the bloodline descendant of the Golden Emperor, they had always kept a low profile and lived in seclusion. Many people even thought that the Golden Emperor clan had disappeared from the divine world. Ling Xiao did not expect to see someone from the Golden Emperor clan here. Miss, I've already refined the Emperor weapon imprint. There's no way I can return it to you. Why don't I compensate you with some treasures? Ling Xiao said innocently. If it were someone else, Ling Xiao might have been thick-skinned enough to take the Emperor weapon imprint for himself. However, as the descendant of the Golden Emperor, Ling Xiao was too embarrassed to take away the Emperor weapon imprint so easily. Moreover, he believed that the Emperor weapon imprint should belong to the woman in front of him. Miss, you. How did you know? The Emperor weapon imprint is a priceless treasure. What are you going to use to pay me back? After hearing Ling Xiao's words, the woman in the golden armor revealed a look of disbelief. Her face turned red and she said with embarrassment and anger. She had disguised herself as a man using the art of disguise. Her art of disguise was so exquisite that even a sage would not be able to detect her true identity. She did not expect Ling Xiao to see through her disguise. I can see through the heavens and see through falsehoods. Naturally, I can see that you're a woman disguised as a man. May I know your name? Since I've taken your Emperor weapon imprint, I can compensate you with a heaven secret skill, a supreme divine pill, and a powerful holy treasure. Ling Xiao said with a smile. My name is Yi Qingqing of the Golden Emperor clan. Cut the crap. You stole my monarch armament imprint. Let me beat you up first. The woman in the golden armor snorted coldly. Holding the halberd in her hand, she slashed towards Ling Xiao. Crack! The halberd in her hand was golden in color, as if it was cast from gold. When it slashed down from the sky, the void trembled. Then, an unstoppable golden dragon appeared. Miss Qingqing, it's not good to be so irritable. I've already promised to compensate you, so why do you have to do this? Ling Xiao laughed bitterly and punched out at the same time. Boom. Ling Xiao's fist suddenly collided with the halberd. Suddenly, a blazing divine light burst out like a volcanic eruption. The halberd emitted a burst of clear dragon cry, and was unexpectedly sent flying by Ling Xiao. Yi Qingqing only felt an unparalleled divine power attacking her, causing her arm to feel a little numb. Her eyes revealed a trace of surprise. Your body is actually so strong? Thief, let's fight first, then we'll talk about compensation. Yi Qingqing's eyes were bright, showing an eager look. Her whole body was filled with a strong fighting spirit. Once again, she swung the halberd and attacked Ling Xiao. Roar! The heavenly halberd seemed to have completely awakened. Dazzling golden clouds gushed out, and mysterious dragon scales appeared on its surface. Accompanied by the majestic roar of the dragon, the heavenly halberd actually transformed into a golden dragon and charged towards Ling Xiao. What a powerful weapon! Ling Xiao exclaimed in his heart. He could feel that the halberd was extremely terrifying. It was not weaker than the flipping sky seal at all. It was a supreme holy treasure. At this moment, the golden dragon attacked. Vast dragon power erupted, making Ling Xiao feel as if he was fighting with a real dragon. Boom, boom, boom. Ling Xiao was also stimulated by a strong fighting spirit. His fists were like dragons, and each strike contained a vast power of wind and thunder. The chaotic air rose, and the fist intent was incomparably powerful, as if it could break through 3,000 realms. It constantly collided with the halberd. Sparks flew in all directions, setting off a divine light storm. Your body can actually withstand my dragon blood halberd? Very well. I'd like to see how strong you are. Yi Qingqing's competitive spirit seemed to have been stimulated by Ling Xiao. Her eyes became brighter and brighter, and her golden hair danced in the wind, causing her entire aura to become incomparably violent. Rumble! The golden divine light around her was as vast as the sea, becoming violent and boiling. Powerful divine weapons condensed in it, containing an incomparably pure killing intent. In an instant, it shrouded the world. Golden heavenly skill, myriad divine weapons. With Yi Qingqing's roar, divine weapons instantly filled the sky and rushed toward Ling Xiao. Those divine weapons intertwined with each other, containing an endless true meaning, as if they could cut everything into pieces. Fight! Ling Xiao's eyes were also surging with fighting spirit. He directly leaped into the sky, and the golden blood qi around his body gushed out and suddenly burned. He was like a sun god, constantly punching out. Boom! In an instant, thousands of fist prints burst out, and Ling Xiao was enveloped in the sea of divine weapons. He tried his best to rush forward, constantly smashing the powerful divine weapons into pieces. However, those divine weapons seemed to have an endless life. After being smashed by Ling Xiao, they instantly reformed. Ling Xiao was like an indefatigable demonic god, bursting forth with supreme strength. Chaotic mist lingered around him, and his skin was as hard as iron. When those divine weapons slashed on his skin, there were actually sounds of metal clashing. It was incomparably crisp, and then they were directly bounced off. I don't believe that your body can withstand all power. Golden heavenly skill, myriad thunder destruction. Yi Qingqing's eyes were like lightning, and the golden divine light around her became more and more intense. Above her head, a celestial flower of the great path bloomed. In an instant, golden light gushed out all over the sky like streaks of lightning, crossing the void in all directions, raging between heaven and earth, and at the same time, falling toward Ling Xiao. The vast laws of the great path descended as if it was the wrath of the heavens, wanting to destroy the creatures that went against the heavens. Yi Qingqing had also reached the celestial ascension realm. At this moment, she erupted with the most powerful power, causing her aura to skyrocket. She was like a saint who controlled the punishment of the heavens, ready to destroy the world. Chapter 2119. Rumble. It was as if everything had been annihilated and returned to nothingness. The golden lightning was like a thunder dragon, wreaking havoc between heaven and earth. It contained the purest great Tao law, and its power was incomparably terrifying. It enveloped Ling Xiao's entire body. Yi Qingqing's golden sky art contained the most original heavenly punishment power. Ling Xiao had used the divine firmament destructive lightning Tao and the lightning emperor art at the same time, but in front of such terrifying lightning, it had actually been broken apart instantly. Bolts of lightning pierced through the void, and the dazzling lightning directly shot into Ling Xiao's body, causing his entire body to shake violently. The mysterious power of great Tao law erupted, wanting to blow his entire body into smithereens. Devour! Ling Xiao shouted in his heart. Tiny vortexes appeared in his body, containing a powerful devouring power, constantly devouring the lightning into his body. Boom! Behind Ling Xiao, the devouring divine sea appeared. He used the devouring secret technique, wanting to devour all the lightning in his body. At the same time, the chaotic aura around him rose, and rays of light appeared on his skin, forming runes that made his body extremely sturdy, resisting the lightning that filled the sky. It had to be said that Yi Qingqing's golden sky art was incomparably terrifying. The myriad lightning strike was like the power of heavenly punishment, able to obliterate all life. Even a sage would find it difficult to resist this attack. Ling Xiao used the devouring secret technique, but the devouring speed was extremely slow, as if it had encountered a great resistance. The lightning was broken down by the devouring secret technique, and then slowly integrated into Ling Xiao's body. Crack! It was as if heaven and earth were being split apart in Ling Xiao's body. Lightning rose, and chaos surged, turning into the purest power, causing Ling Xiao's body to gradually strengthen. At the same time, the wordless heavenly book trembled slightly, as if it had sensed some kind of fluctuation that made it excited. Circles of ripples spread out, shattering the lightning, and devouring it like a whale swallowing the sea. There's the aura of a secret technique in this golden sky art. Ling Xiao's body shook, and his eyes revealed a trace of incomparable surprise. There was only one reason for the wordless heavenly book to have such a reaction, and that was the 108 secret techniques of the myriad worlds. Ling Xiao vaguely felt that the myriad lightning strike of the golden sky art contained an extremely mysterious secret technique fluctuation. Crack! The lightning in the sky was swallowed up by Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao soared into the sky and threw a punch at Yi Qingqing like a bolt of lightning. His speed was extremely fast. What? Yi Qingqing's expression changed. She never thought that the power of the myriad lightning eradication would disappear so strangely. It was as if it did not cause any harm to Ling Xiao. The Fangtian halberd in Yi Qingqing's hand spun and cleaved towards Ling Xiao. Bang! But with a flash of light, Ling Xiao's palm was surrounded by the qi of primordial chaos. Golden light blazed as his blood qi surged. He actually managed to grab hold of the ancient halberd. Yi Qingqing's eyes lit up. At the same time, he slapped Ling Xiao without thinking. Boom! However, Ling Xiao easily blocked her attack and grabbed Yi Qingqing's hand. Yi Qingqing's fingers were extremely slender and as white as jade. Moreover, they were soft and boneless. After Ling Xiao grabbed them, he couldn't help but touch them a few more times, causing Yi Qingqing's face to immediately turn red. Bastard, have you touched enough? Yi Qingqing gritted her teeth and said. When Ling Xiao grabbed hold of the ancient halberd in her hand, Yi Qingqing felt as if all the strength in her body had been sucked out. She actually did not have the strength to resist at all. This made her shocked and angry. Hee, Miss Qingqing, can we have a good talk now? Ling Xiao said with a smile. He was getting more and more interested in Yi Qingqing. Not only was Yi Qingqing's cultivation extraordinary, but her combat strength was also unparalleled. She even caused a lot of trouble for Ling Xiao. Moreover, she seemed to have a powerful secret skill on her. This was exactly what Ling Xiao needed. Ling Xiao was just thinking about how he could obtain that powerful secret skill from Yi Qingqing. Let go of me first. Yi Qingqing wanted to pounce on Ling Xiao and bite him. No problem. But if I let go of you, you can't attack me anymore. As a member of the Golden Emperor clan, you have no sense of propriety. Ling Xiao smiled slightly and let go of Yi Qingqing. Although Yi Qingqing's face was filled with hostility, and she wanted to poke a few holes in Ling Xiao's body with the dragon blood halberd, she finally restrained herself after thinking about it. Although she didn't want to admit it, she had to admit that she was no match for Ling Xiao in the end. Yi Qingqing couldn't imagine how a guy who was only a 9th Revolution half-saint could have such powerful combat strength. Miss Qingqing, although I've obtained your imperial weapon imprint, I didn't know that the 3 imperial weapon imprints here belong to you. Now that I've completely refined the imperial weapon imprints, there's no way I can return them to you. How about I give you a complete secret skill in exchange? Ling Xiao said with a smile. A complete secret skill? There are 108 secret skills in the universe. Only the 12 sky skills can catch my eye, but you definitely don't have the 12 sky skills. As for the other secret skills, if you can take out the heaven shrouding secret skill, I'll let you go. How about that? Yi Qingqing said with a cold smile. Her face was filled with disbelief. She was just casually saying it. She didn't believe that Ling Xiao could take out the complete heaven shrouding secret skill. In fact, to Yi Qingqing, the heaven shrouding secret skill was no less useful than a complete heaven skill. You want the heaven shrouding secret skill? I really do have the heaven shrouding secret skill here, Ling Xiao said with a strange look in his eyes. What? Yi Qingqing's body shook. Suddenly, her eyes were filled with surprise and joy. Do you really have the heaven shrouding secret skill? Give it to me, and I won't pursue the matter of you stealing my imperial weapon imprints. How about that? Yi Qingqing said impatiently. No problem. This is the imparting crystal of the heaven shrouding secret skill. We're even, Ling Xiao said with a smile. He took out the imparting crystal of the heaven shrouding secret skill without hesitation. He didn't expect Yi Qingqing to be so interested in the heaven shrouding secret skill instead of the 12 sky skills. This is really the heaven shrouding secret skill. Yi Qingqing placed the imparting crystal between her eyebrows and began to accept the profound meaning of the heaven shrouding secret skill. After a long time, when she opened her eyes, they were filled with surprise and joy. She had already verified that the heaven shrouding secret skill was recorded in the imparting crystal. Of course. I, Ling Xiao, am a man of my word. But why do you value the heaven shrouding secret skill so much? Could it be that it has some effect on you? Ling Xiao asked curiously. Chapter 2120. The Secret of the Void Land? What is it? Ling Xiao looked at Yi Qingqing in surprise. At the same time, he came to a realization. The reason why Yi Qingqing did not take away the 3 emperor weapon imprints was because there was a secret in the empty land. Yi Qingqing looked at Ling Xiao and pondered for a moment before saying, the heaven shrouding secret skill is extremely beneficial to my cultivation of the golden sky skill. Most importantly, the heaven shrouding secret skill is related to whether we can obtain the sky punishment secret skill in the void land. Sky punishment secret skill. That's the secret skill of the 9 imperial gates. You're saying that the void land has the sky punishment secret skill? Ling Xiao was also a little excited. The sky punishment secret skill was known as the number 1 lightning doctrine. It was the secret skill of the 9 imperial gates, and it contained the mystery of the sky punishment. It could punish on behalf of the heavens and wield the power of the heavens. Its power was extremely terrifying. If he could obtain the sky punishment secret skill, Ling Xiao's path of collecting the 12 sky skills would be a step further. That's right. In the middle of the void land, there is a thunder calamity sea. It is shrouded by endless lightning all year round, and it contains the sky punishment secret skill. However, the lightning there has a strong spirituality and it has formed a powerful thunder spirit. Only the heaven shrouding secret skill can conceal its aura and allow us to enter the thunder calamity sea, Yi Qingqing said slowly. Thunder calamity sea? Thunder spirit? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a strange look. He suddenly thought of the Thunder Spirit King. He wondered what kind of fortune the Thunder Spirit King would encounter in the Thunder Calamity Sea. Master, you must go to the Thunder Calamity Sea. If I can devour the endless Thunder Spirit in the Thunder Calamity Sea and obtain the Sky Punishment secret skill, my strength will definitely improve. The Thunder Spirit King's excited voice was transmitted into Yi Qingqing's mind. After hearing Yi Qingqing's words, the Thunder Spirit King couldn't stay calm anymore. The Thunder Spirit in the Thunder Calamity Sea had an irresistible attraction to it. Lady Qingqing, can you bring me to the Thunder Calamity Sea? I'm also interested in the Sky Punishment secret skill. Ling Xiao smiled and did not hide his thoughts. Since Ling Xiao could find the Heaven's Punishment secret skill in this void, he naturally did not want to miss it. He wanted to obtain the complete Heaven's Punishment secret skill here. According to what Ling Xiao knew, the Divine Firmament Destructive Lightning Dao and Lightning Tharch Art were most likely inextricably linked to Heaven's Punishment. Heaven's Punishment secret technique. I wonder if I'll meet the Son of Heaven. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he thought to himself. Right now, the Emperor was the leader of the younger generation in the 9 Imperial Gates. The Emperor was also the strongest cultivator Ling Xiao had seen in his generation. If there was a heavenly punishment secret technique in this void, perhaps the Emperor wouldn't have missed it. Sure. But once we arrive at the Lightning Tribulation Ocean, you must listen to my commands. Otherwise, we might be doomed eternally. Yi Qingqing said seriously. No problem. Lady Qingqing, can you let me see your true appearance? Ling Xiao said with a smile. Although Yi Qingqing looked extraordinarily handsome at the moment, Ling Xiao knew that he was a woman and felt that it was very strange. No. Yi Qingqing glared at Ling Xiao in annoyance, then turned around and prepared to leave. Ling Xiao smiled in a carefree manner. He felt that Yi Qingqing had a unique personality. She was a woman, yet she chose to dress up as a man. This made Ling Xiao curious about Yi Qingqing. Suddenly, Ling Xiao's eyes flashed sharply as if he had sensed something. He said slowly, Lady Qingqing, I'm afraid you'll have to wait for me for a while. Let me kill 2 people first before we head to the Lightning Tribulation Ocean. How about that? Feng Qingyang's voice sounded in Ling Xiao's consciousness. The dragon and tiger sages who were chasing after him had arrived. Kill 2 people? Do you need my help? Yi Qingqing's eyes flashed with a strange look. Thank you, but there's no need. With 3 Tharch weapon imprints, it's enough for me to control the wolf and kill formations. It's a good surprise for them. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, but his smile was very cold and filled with killing intent. After refining the 3 Tharch weapon imprints, Ling Xiao was able to control the formations of the wolf and kill formations. The boundless murderous aura and murderous intent had formed a powerful territory, which happened to be the place where the dragon and tiger sages were buried. Yi Qingqing's lips twitched when she heard the words Tharch weapon imprints. She felt a great pain in her heart. They were left behind by the ancestors of the Golden Emperor tribe, and now they had all fallen into Ling Xiao's hands. Initially, she was incomparably furious and wanted to kill the thief. However, for some reason, after meeting Ling Xiao and fighting with him, the killing intent in her heart had dissipated. Even Yi Qingqing felt that it was unbelievable. Whoosh! Whoosh! Ling Xiao and Yi Qingqing leaped out of the palace together. Using the sky-shrouding secret technique, they silently snuck out. The void land was filled with illusory and mysterious scenes. 2 dazzling lights shot from afar at extreme speed, and soon arrived in front of the wolf and kill formations. They were 2 young men in black robes. Their auras were extremely powerful and shrouded in a vast divine aura, causing the surrounding void to tremble slightly. They were the dragon and tiger sages who were chasing after Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang. How strange! My tracking compass shows that Ling Xiao should be nearby, but his aura has completely disappeared. A light flashed in Long Sheng's palm and a bronze compass appeared. It looked very simple and unadorned, with mysterious chaotic aura flowing on it. Could it be that they have hidden themselves? The void land is full of dangers, but it's also full of opportunities. Perhaps they found some secret realm or cave dwelling. Tiger Sage's eyes moved as he looked around and said, It's possible. If they really found some opportunities, it's a good thing. I'm afraid they found out about our whereabouts and deliberately hid themselves. Long Sheng's expression was somewhat uncertain as he snorted coldly. They found out about our whereabouts? That shouldn't be possible, right? Tiger Sage said uncertainly. Nothing is impossible. Ling Xiao was able to kill Tongtian Demon Saint and Saint Mu Yuan. His strength is not to be underestimated. However, the more secrets he has, the more interested I am in him. Long Sheng sneered coldly. The dragon and tiger sages had already arrived in front of the wolf and kill formations as they talked. Although Ling Xiao had used some means to conceal the aura of the three formations, Long Sheng could still see that something was wrong. These three formations are a little strange, Long Sheng said in a somewhat bewildered manner as he halted his footsteps. At that moment, a faint voice sounded in the void. Are the two of you looking for me? Chapter 21-21. Rumble. In the dark void, a dazzling divine light exploded like a volcano. Ling Xiao was bathed in the golden glow as he strolled over. His robe was whiter than snow, and his black hair fluttered in the wind. There was a faint smile on his face, and his eyes were sharp. Yi Qingqing was wearing golden armor and holding a heavenly halberd. He stood beside Ling Xiao like a peerless god of war, exuding an extremely powerful aura. You are Ling Xiao. Long Sheng was shocked, and his expression instantly turned cold. Hee, big brother, we have searched high and low for him, only to find him by chance. This brat has delivered himself to us. Let's capture him. The Tiger Saint sneered. If I'm not wrong, the two of you must have been hired by the Heavenly Curse sect to kill me. How should I address the two of you? When the two of you are dead, I will erect an inscription for the two of you. Ling Xiao said flatly, and his expression was extremely calm. You have a sharp tongue. Ling Xiao, how dare you be so arrogant when you are about to die? Where is Feng Qingyang? Do you think that you and Feng Qingyang can deal with the two of us? Tiger Saint said coldly as he cautiously scanned the dark void around him. Although he did not know who the golden-armored man standing beside Ling Xiao was, he was certain that it was not Feng Qingyang. Don't worry. There is no need for Feng Qingyang to do anything. The two of you will definitely die. This is a void, and it is not a disgrace to your status to bury two sages. Ling Xiao said flatly. Feng Qingyang was hiding in the dark void. Although Ling Xiao did not ask him to do anything, he was ready to kill the dragon and tiger sages at any time. You are courting death. Killing intent flashed across Tiger Sage's eyes. He roared and took the lead to pounce on Ling Xiao. Roar. He let out a tiger's roar, and the terrifying sound waves caused the surrounding void to tremble violently. A huge white tiger appeared above his head, and his entire body exuded an extremely ferocious aura as he charged towards Ling Xiao. A glint flashed in Dragon Saint's eyes, but he did not make a move. He wanted to see how Tiger Saint would do. Tiger Saint was, after all, a true saint. When he struck, it contained vast divine might. His huge tiger claws were incomparably sharp, as if they were made of metal, flashing with cold light. Rumble. A sharp glint flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes, and the blood and qi in his body surged as he threw a punch at Tiger Saint. He could sense the bloody aura of the dragon and tiger saints before him. Although they looked like humans, they had the blood of the beast tribe flowing in their bodies. They were half human and half beast, which was very strange. However, the tiger sage was extremely strong. Judging from his aura, he was even stronger than the heavenly demon saint. The golden fist came through the air in a mighty manner. It was as if an ancient emperor was about to destroy the heavens. It clashed with Tiger Saint's huge tiger claws, and the sound of metal clashing was immediately heard. Sparks flew in all directions. The void in all directions trembled slightly. Tiger Saint's expression changed as he sensed a divine power that he could not resist exploding. His entire body trembled and he was sent flying. So what if you're a saint? How dare you try to kill me with that little bit of cultivation of yours? A dark light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. They were filled with murderous intent. After he sent Tiger Saint flying with a punch, he kicked out in the air. A blazing and vast light exploded as he aimed a kick at Tiger Saint's chest. Crack. Tiger Saint's expression was extremely ugly. He roared angrily and tried to block with his arms. However, an incomparably crisp sound rang out. His arms were broken by Ling Xiao's kick, and the air was filled with the thick stench of blood. Ling Xiao's physical body is indeed terrifying. Dragon Saint, who was watching the battle from afar, could not help but narrow his eyes. He was extremely shocked. Tiger Saint had obtained the blood essence of the primordial white tiger, and cultivated the white tiger celestial technique at the same time. His physical body was incomparably strong, but now he was no match for Ling Xiao. Kill. Murderous intent flashed in Dragon Saint's eyes. He could no longer hold back and attacked Ling Xiao at the same time. Roar. The dragon's roar in the void was majestic and mysterious. Black demonic light gushed out from Dragon Saint's body. A vast saint's aura rose, and black dragon scales suddenly shot towards Ling Xiao like giant blades. Roar. The moment Dragon Saint attacked, Tiger Saint also roared. The dragon's roar and the tiger's roar intertwined. The power of the two seemed to converge, causing Tiger Saint's aura to skyrocket. Streaks of black claws fell towards Ling Xiao like steel needles. This is the power of the fusion of secret techniques. Ling Xiao's body trembled, and a trace of disbelief appeared in his eyes. He never thought that he would see the power of the fusion of secret techniques in Dragon Saint and Tiger Saint. Ling Xiao cultivated the supreme secret techniques of the ancestral dragon, true phoenix, white tiger, black tortoise, and qilin. In the lower realm, he had once displayed the power of the fusion of dragon and phoenix. Now he saw the power of the fusion of the ancestral dragon and white tiger secret techniques in Dragon Saint and Tiger Saint. Although it didn't seem complete, and even a little incomplete, it was enough to increase the combat power of Dragon Saint and Tiger Saint greatly. It put a certain amount of pressure on Ling Xiao. Whoosh! Ling Xiao didn't attack. Instead, a stream of light flashed under his feet as he used a teleportation secret technique. He wanted to avoid Dragon Saint and Tiger Saint's joint attack, and at the same time, carefully observe the power of the fusion of secret techniques in their bodies. This kind of fusion involved the laws of the Great Path and the Heavenly Way. It could borrow the power of heaven and earth to explode with even more terrifying combat power. Ling Xiao died. Dragon Saint and Tiger Saint's eyes were filled with murderous intent. Divine light rose around them, and demonic light filled the air. The dragon's roar and tiger's roar turned into a powerful sound wave that directly attacked the primordial spirit. It was as if it could completely destroy everything. Whoosh! 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 Ling Xiao used a teleportation secret technique, traversing 1,000 kilometers in the blink of an eye. His entire body seemed to have turned into a blur as he shuttled between Dragon Saint and Tiger Saint's attacks. Divine light erupted in the sky, and a black divine dragon and a white tiger seemed to appear in the sky. They were both tens of thousands of meters tall, and their auras were monstrous. They were insufferably arrogant. At the same time, Ling Xiao retreated into the 3-star formation without leaving a trace. Ling Xiao, where do you think you're going? Tiger Saint bellowed. The figures in the sky were all destroyed by him and Dragon Saint. Afterwards, he grabbed at the air, wanting to dig out Ling Xiao's heart. His eyes were filled with extreme cruelty. Chapter 21-22. A ray of blood-red light flashed through the void and Ling Xiao's chest was instantly pierced through by Tiger Saint. However, Dragon Saint's heart could not help but skip a beat, especially when he saw Ling Xiao's calm expression. He could not help but feel an extremely strong sense of danger, and immediately shouted, "Not good. Retreat." Gotcha. His entire body was like a bolt of black lightning as he instantly tried to escape. Don't you think it's too late to leave now? Ling Xiao's indifferent voice rang out in the void. The figure whose chest had been pierced by Tiger Saint instantly turned into nothingness. It turned out that this was only an afterimage formed by Ling Xiao's heaven-shrouding secret technique. Ling Xiao's figure appeared above the dragon and Tiger Saints. His robes were whiter than snow and his sleeves fluttered in the wind. There was a hint of mockery in his eyes. Rumble. The void in all directions seemed to have exploded. Endless black murderous aura gushed out like thick ink, and formed an incomparably terrifying domain that immediately enveloped the dragon and Tiger Saints. The terrifying murderous aura seemed to be able to devour all life. When it got close to the dragon and Tiger Saints, it began to go berserk. It was like a devouring vortex that wanted to devour their bones and dregs. The kill, break, and wolf 3 stars formation was incomparably terrifying. The murderous aura barrier made Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang feel, as if they were facing a great enemy. Even a saint would be severely injured if they were to barge in recklessly, and would find it difficult to escape. After Ling Xiao had refined the 3 emperor weapon brands, he had temporarily gained the ability to control the kill, break, and wolf 3 stars formation. In other words, this was an innate great formation. With murderous aura as the foundation, murderous aura as the source, and battle intent as the body, it could destroy everything. This is a supreme holy formation. Ling Xiao, you despicable and shameless person. How dare you trick me? Tiger Saint's expression changed greatly. His eyes were filled with rage as he roared angrily. Let's charge out. A cold light flickered in Dragon Saint's eyes as well. However, he was able to discern the severity of the situation. He knew that the most important thing right now was to charge out. Otherwise, if they were trapped by the murderous aura barrier, they would die sooner or later. Dragon Saint and Tiger Saint's Saint Chi intertwined, and their powers seemed to fuse together. In an instant, they charged out of the boundless murderous aura, and attempted to escape. Trying to escape? It's not that easy. Ling Xiao smiled faintly as runes rose from his palm. Rays of dazzling light formed the Yen Emperor's cauldron in the air. It soared into the sky in an instant, and came crashing down on the Dragon and Tiger Saints. It wasn't easy to lure the Dragon and Tiger Sages here. Naturally, Ling Xiao wouldn't let them leave so easily. Rumble. The Flame Emperor Cauldron contained supreme divine power, and it expanded to 10,000 feet in size. Its scorching flames could burn the void, and it contained an unparalleled suppressive force. At the same time, the Dragon and Tiger Sages' expressions changed drastically when they sensed the extreme Emperor's might. The Dragon and Tiger Sages were unable to dodge the attack. They could only take it head-on. They clenched their teeth and unleashed their strongest attacks at the Flame Emperor Cauldron. Wang. The Yen Emperor Cauldron shuddered slightly as a strange sound wave rippled out from it. A vast and mighty monarch aura burst forth, shattering the attacks of the Dragon and Tiger Sages, and sending them flying. The ominous aura that filled the sky attacked them once again. It rose into the sky like divine chains, and the black ominous aura seemed to want to completely bind the Dragon and Tiger Sages. The Dragon and Tiger Sages were scared out of their wits when they felt the life force in their bodies slipping away rapidly. Even the saint energy around them was weakening. The ominous aura boundary was like a bottomless pit that was crazily devouring the energy in their bodies. Ling Xiao, you forced us to do this. Even if we die, you'll die before us. Long Sheng's eyes were filled with a frenzied killing intent as he suddenly roared. Crack. A black bolt of lightning suddenly exploded in the void. The murderous aura around Long Sheng trembled violently, as if it had met its natural enemy. It began to retreat rapidly. A black scroll flew out from Long Sheng's hand and shot towards Ling Xiao. The void trembled as the black scroll slowly unfurled. It was as if a vast world had appeared between heaven and earth, and an extremely terrifying monarch aura gushed out from it. Destroy! An ancient divine rune appeared on the scroll. In an instant, it rushed out from the scroll as if it could fill the entire world. It then suddenly pressed down on Ling Xiao. This is the Great Emperor's decree? It seems like the heavenly curse sect really hates me to the core. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he sneered. He could feel that the Great Emperor's decree contained an extremely strange curse power. The destruction rune wanted to destroy his physical body, primordial spirit, and the Great Tao Order. However, Ling Xiao's expression was extremely calm as if he was not afraid at all. Rumble. His eyes were extremely bright as runes surrounded his body. The Great Tao true meaning radiated from him, making him look like the embodiment of the Great Tao. His aura was extremely vast. For dazzling divine lights shot out from his body and turned into a cauldron, a saber, a spear, and a sword in the sky. The blazing light distorted as chaotic aura filled the air. It was as if the heavens and earth were being split apart. Those were the imprints of the 4 extreme Tao Emperor weapons. They were formed by Ling Xiao using the supreme battle heavenly skill as they flew towards the Great Emperor's decree. Bastard! Those are my Emperor weapon imprints. Yi Qingcheng, who was watching the battle from the side, gritted his teeth and said gloomily when he saw the Emperor weapon imprints above Ling Xiao's head. Although Ling Xiao had given him the heaven-shrouding secret skill as compensation, Yi Qingqing was so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood when he thought about how the 3 emperor weapon imprints had fallen into Ling Xiao's hands. She could feel that Ling Xiao was using the battle formation heavenly skill to control the 4 emperor weapon imprints. The power that erupted was enough to destroy the heavens and earth. The dragon and tiger sages' faces changed drastically as a trace of fear appeared in their eyes. Crack! Dazzling lights collided in the sky as the imprints of the 4 extreme Dao Emperor weapons intertwined with each other. They contained a power that could destroy the heavens and earth. Even the great emperor's decree could not withstand this attack, and exploded into pieces. The curse power was formless and formless. Although most of it was destroyed by Ling Xiao's battle heavenly skill, there was still a portion that wanted to enter Ling Xiao's body. However, it was directly devoured by the wordless heavenly book. The divine light was like an ocean as the 4 emperor weapon imprints suppressed the earth, water, wind, and fire heavenly pillars. After destroying the great emperor's decree, they did not lose their momentum as they continued to suppress the dragon and tiger sages. The dragon and tiger sages' faces were filled with despair. No! The dragon and tiger saints roared furiously at the same time. Their eyes were filled with despair and fear. They could clearly feel the threat of death looming over them. Chapter 21-23. Rumble. The bodies of the dragon and tiger sages exploded in the air. The boundless life essence within their flesh and blood dissipated. The fiendish chi boundary swept over like a cat that had seen a fish. Ling Xiao was quick to react. He instantly leaped over and unleashed the sky-devouring secret technique. Blazing golden light rose around him and turned into a vast devouring vortex. He began to devour the boundless life essence in the air. The dragon and tiger sages were both saints. Not only were they extremely powerful, but their life essence had also evolved after experiencing the refinement of the saint tribulation. Their bodies were practically formed from the laws of the world and contained boundless life essence. The flesh and blood of a saint was no weaker than an ordinary divine pill. It was a supreme treasure to experts below the saint realm. Ling Xiao had used the battle the heavens method to complete mastery. He had consumed more than half of the energy in his body. He felt rather weak at the moment. After devouring the flesh and blood essence in the air, the weakness in his body rapidly disappeared. His aura also began to grow stronger. He had devoured the flesh and life essence of the 2 saints. Not only had his body become stronger, but his accumulation had also increased. The dragon and tiger sages had died in Ling Xiao's hands just like that. The 2 of them were very powerful. However, I never thought that your battle prowess would be so terrifying. You still held back when we fought before. Yi Qingqing walked over to Ling Xiao and said with a complicated expression, "Speaking of which, I still have to thank you." The 2 of them were saints. They were extremely powerful. If it weren't for the fiendish chi boundary, even if I could defeat them, it would be very difficult for me to kill them so easily. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. There's no need to be humble. The fiendish chi boundary may have restrained them, but they couldn't resist your final attack at all. I never thought that you would have cultivated the battle the heavens method to such a level. Should I call you Ling Xiao or Long Outyan? Yi Qingqing's eyes burned brightly as he stared at Ling Xiao. So you've seen through it. Just call me Ling Xiao. Speaking of which, I still have to thank you for the 3 emperor weapon brands. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to withstand the emperor's decree. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he smiled faintly. The fame of the battle heavenly merit was too great. Sure enough, the moment the battle heavenly merit appeared, Yi Qingqing immediately recognized his identity. Everyone thought you were killed by the sages of the Hua tribe and the heavenly curse sect. They didn't expect you to enter the chaotic ancient land and escape from 2 great sages. I'm sure you'll shine in the chaotic ancient land. Yi Qingqing said with some emotion. Wang. At this moment, a light flashed in the void and Feng Qingyang appeared in front of Ling Xiao. However, at this moment, Feng Qingyang's face was filled with shock. You have gotten stronger again. Feng Qingyang smiled bitterly, seemingly a little depressed. Previously, he had hidden the secret treasure in the dark void. Originally, he wanted to launch a pincer attack on the dragon and tiger sages with Ling Xiao. However, he did not expect Ling Xiao to kill the dragon and tiger sages on his own and complete the magnificent feat of slaying a saint. He was the one who knew how terrifying Ling Xiao's combat strength had become. At the beginning, he still needed some time to fight with Ling Xiao. Now he could only look up to Ling Xiao. Even Feng Qingyang, who prided himself as a supreme talent, felt frustrated by Ling Xiao's terrifying speed of improvement. It's not that I've gotten stronger, but those two are too stupid. Let me introduce you. This is Yi Qingqing, the descendant of the Golden Emperor tribe. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and introduced Yi Qingqing to Feng Qingyang. The descendant of the Golden Emperor tribe? Greetings, Brother Yi. Feng Qingyang's expression changed when he heard that Yi Qingqing was the descendant of the Golden Emperor tribe. Feng Qingyang, one of the twin stars of the current generation of the Taishangdao Palace. Unparalleled talent and extraordinary strength. I know you. Yi Qingqing glanced at Feng Qingyang and said flatly. She knew that the War God Hall and the Taishangdao Palace were allies, so she was not surprised to see Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang together. Brother Yi, you flatter me, Feng Qingyang said modestly. He was puzzled as to why a man would have such a feminine name like Yi Qingqing. However, he did not ask too much. The dragon and tiger sages are really lucky. The divine dragon celestial skill and the white tiger celestial skill? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The dragon and tiger saints had been killed. He had devoured their flesh, blood, and essence, as well as their soul fragments. He had also stripped away part of their memories. It turned out that the dragon and tiger sages had obtained the divine dragon celestial skill and the white tiger celestial skill from an ancient sage king's cave. After they had successfully cultivated it, they ran amok in the chaotic ancient land and made a name for themselves. Otherwise, the heavenly curse sect would not have sent them to kill Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang. It was a pity that Ling Xiao had only obtained the incomplete divine dragon celestial skill and the white tiger celestial skill. He did not obtain the complete cultivation method. However, Ling Xiao could tell from the incomplete version that the two celestial skills were created based on the ancestral dragon secret skill and the white tiger secret skill. That was why the dragon and tiger sages were able to perform the fusion of the secret skills. Ling Xiao, Yi Qingqing, and Feng Qingyang chatted for a while before they prepared to leave for the Thunder Calamity Sea in the depths of the Void Land. When Feng Qingyang found out that the Thunder Calamity Sea contained the Heaven's Punishment secret skill, he was extremely excited. If he could obtain the Heaven's Punishment secret skill, his strength would definitely increase by a large margin. The Thunder Calamity Sea is filled with dangers. It contains the power of Heaven's punishment, and the Thunder Spirit is extremely powerful. When you reach the Thunder Calamity Sea, you must listen to my commands. Otherwise, don't blame me if you die in the Thunder Calamity Sea. Yi Qingqing warned Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang again, and told them what to pay attention to in the Thunder Calamity Sea. Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang naturally agreed. The three of them were extremely fast. Under Yi Qingqing's lead, they avoided the dangers of the Void Land and finally arrived at an extremely mysterious place. Rumble. The darkness in front of them seemed to have reached its end. Blazing lightning rose, causing the void to vibrate violently. Endless lightning formed a vast sea, erupting with the sound of a tsunami. Those lightning bolts were extremely dense. They were like divine chains of order, pouring down like a waterfall, emitting an incomparably blazing fluctuation. The vast great Tao Law descended, emitting a terrifying pressure. It was like a brilliant heaven's might, as if it could turn everything into dust. Yi Qingqing took a deep breath, revealing a trace of excitement in his eyes. They had arrived at the Thunder Calamity Sea. Chapter 21-24. This is the core of the Void Land, the Thunder Calamity Sea. The Thunder Calamity Sea is formed by the Thunder Calamity of Heaven, and contains the power to destroy everything. Even a sage will die if he enters it. Only the heaven-shrouding secret skill can hide us from the Thunder Calamity Sea, and even allow us to travel freely in the Thunder Calamity Sea. Yi Qingqing said slowly to Ling Xiao. It turned out that the thunder calamity, sea, was a pure thunder calamity of the heavenly Tao. If a living creature entered it, it would instantly be assimilated by the thunder calamity of the heavenly Tao and become a part of the thunder calamity sea. The powerful thunder spirits in the thunder calamity sea were not only born from the thunder calamity sea, but also from experts who were assimilated by the thunder calamity sea. Their primordial spirit fused with the lightning and became a thunder spirit. The heaven-shrouding secret skill could not only conceal the living creature's aura, but also allow the living creature to have the same aura as the thunder calamity, allowing them to travel freely in the thunder calamity sea. Ling Xiao was naturally clear about this. Will we be absolutely safe with the heaven-shrouding secret technique? Feng Qingyang said eagerly. His eyes were filled with anticipation. Ling Xiao had passed the heaven-shrouding secret skill to him. Feng Qingyang was excited when he thought of the legendary Heaven's Punishment secret skill, hidden in the Thunder Calamity Sea. Not necessarily. Although the Heaven-shrouding secret skill can allow us to travel safely in the Thunder Calamity Sea, there are many dangers in the Thunder Calamity Sea. No one knows what dangers there are. Moreover, there might be a powerful thunder spirit of the Saint Realm. We can't fight against it in the Thunder Calamity Sea. Yi Qingqing shook her head and said, "A powerful thunder spirit of the Saint Realm? If we can refine some thunder spirits, it might be beneficial for us to collect the Heaven's Punishment secret skill." Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a bright light. This was what the Thunder Spirit King told him. After the Thunder Spirit King became a sage, he seemed to have gained a lot of memories. He seemed to have gained a lot of information about the Thunder Calamity Sea in the Void Land. The Heaven's Punishment secret skill was the power of the Thunder Calamity of Heaven. If they could refine a powerful thunder spirit, it would be beneficial for them to collect the Heaven's Punishment secret skill. We can give it a try. Let's go. Yi Qingqing nodded. She instantly performed the sky-shrouding secret technique. Her aura became extremely ethereal. At the same time, mysterious thunderbolts spread out. Her aura seemed to have merged with the Thunder Calamity Sea in front of her. Whoosh! Yi Qingqing transformed into a streak of golden lightning, taking the lead to shoot into the Thunder Tribulation Sea. Ling Xiao and Feng Qingyang glanced at each other, and both of them used the heaven-shrouding secret technique to follow Yi Qingqing. Rumble! It was as if they had entered a roaring sea. Blazing lightning surged into the sky like huge waves, connecting the heavens and the earth, containing an extreme destructive power. Above the void, chaos churned and laws intertwined. Divine chains of order traversed the sky. It was as if everything here had become the most basic state of laws. That kind of destructive power made Ling Xiao and the other two feel their scalps go numb. If it wasn't for the heaven-shrouding secret technique, they probably wouldn't have been able to withstand such terrifying lightning. Crack! A bolt of lightning exploded in front of Ling Xiao and the other two. A mysterious light shone brightly. It was as if the heavens and earth were being split apart, and an incomparably mysterious illusory image of a world appeared. In the Thunder Tribulation Sea, reality and illusion merged together, making it impossible for people to distinguish between them. "That's a thunder spirit?" Feng Qingyang suddenly exclaimed. In the distant Thunder Tribulation Sea, a white rabbit appeared. It looked very agile, but its body was intertwined with blazing white lightning, exuding the aura of the Thunder Tao origin. It was a thunder spirit. The rabbit thunder spirit also discovered Ling Xiao and the other two, and its eyes revealed a trace of curiosity. In an instant it flashed and directly appeared above Feng Qingyang's head. It then sat on Feng Qingyang's head, and wantonly scratched Feng Qingyang's hair with its two little claws. Ling Xiao and the other two had used the heaven-shrouding secret technique, and at this moment, their bodies were also exuding the aura of the Thunder Tao origin. In the rabbit thunder spirit's perception, Ling Xiao and the other two were also thunder spirits, but they didn't seem to be thunder entities, which made the rabbit thunder spirit very curious. This rabbit is really terrifying. Cold sweat trickled down Feng Qingyang's back. The rabbit thunder spirit appeared on top of his head. The white thunder easily penetrated his divine astral shield, making him feel the threat of death. Feng Qingyang didn't move, fearing that the rabbit thunder spirit would come into close contact with him, and then he was afraid that he would directly die. Who told you to shout so loudly? Ling Xiao said to Feng Qingyang in a somewhat funny manner. The rabbit thunder spirit wouldn't have noticed this kid if he hadn't shouted so loudly. Big brother, don't make sarcastic remarks. Quickly help me get rid of this damned rabbit. Feng Qingyang was about to cry, and said to Ling Xiao, I'm afraid that this rabbit is a Sage Realm thunder spirit. Your luck is very bad. I'm afraid that even I am not its opponent. Now you can only pray that it will leave by itself. Ling Xiao said in a somewhat gloating manner. There was a trace of dignified look in his eyes. This snow-white rabbit was transformed from the Thunder Dao origin, but Ling Xiao could feel that it was almost condensing a flesh and blood body, and its strength was incomparably terrifying. Don't move. It seems that it is leaving. Yi Qingqing suddenly said to Feng Qingyang. The white rabbit smelled the aura of Feng Qingyang's body, and its little claws lightly patted his head a few times, which scared Feng Qingyang out of his wits, but in the end, the rabbit seemed to feel a little bored. An array of light flashed around its body, and directly disappeared from Feng Qingyang's head. It finally left. This rabbit is simply a spirit. It scared me to death. Let's go quickly, this thunder tribulation sea is too strange. Feng Qingyang's legs turned to jelly, and that white rabbit had completely frightened him. He felt as if he had just brushed shoulders with the god of death. If it wasn't for the heaven's punishment secret skill in his heart, Feng Qingyang almost wanted to leave the thunder tribulation sea directly. Shu, look, there are a few thunder spirits over there. We should be able to give it a try. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed, and he made a shushing gesture to Feng Qingyang, and then pointed to the front and said, Buzz. In the thunder tribulation sea, there were more than a dozen golden fishes slowly swimming over. These fishes were naturally thunder spirit fishes, the smallest of which was a foot long, and the largest of which was actually 10 feet long, emitting blazing lightning all over its body. These thunder spirit fishes gave Ling Xiao the feeling that they were equivalent to ordinary sages, and the threat they posed was much smaller than that of the white rabbit. Thunder spirits are also rare treasures of heaven and earth. Not only can it temper the body, but it also contains the Thunder Dao origin. You are right. We can give these thunder spirits a try. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.